Han caído. Hi guys, come on in. I'm getting my other computer set up. Keep coming in. There you go. How's it going? I can't find my glasses. I was just teaching with my computer glasses and I have no idea where I left them. Yeah. So now I'm teaching with my reading glasses. So I'm going to be like this on top of the computer. Sorry. You're going to have to see me like, because I cannot find my computer glasses anywhere. How weird. I went and ran an errand in between classes and I have no idea what I did with them. I hope they didn't fall off my head or something. Anyway, we'll see. Let me open up my other Zoom. Give me a second. And while I let you guys in here, go ahead and make sure you have your apps open. And here we go. Mac level Zoom link. Here we go. And there we go. Now I'm set up with my other computer. All right, let's head over to the chat. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Harry, Molly, whoever started on the chat. Let me say hi there. That's me. Everyone go to the chat and give me a little hey ho. And let me see. Got to get that meeting set up. And there we go. Okay, so now okay. Just need to make sure that it got in correctly. Okay. All right, so I'm in both of the computers. All right. El día 5 de agosto y la tengo que cambiar. And there we go. All right, cool. Sorry, I had to, I'm all aflutter because I can't find my glasses, but it's okay. I'll figure out who you are. I'll just look up very closely. I know I brought more pairs of glasses to this house. Let me see, I have my extra pairs. This is really uncomfortable. I have these short, I think these are also teaching glass range. Ah, much better. Oh, otherwise I was like, okay, computer glasses, my second set. It's good to always bring a spare. Now I can calm down. It was so weird to be looking everywhere for my glasses and not to find them when I just wore them. Okay, so hi, how's everyone doing? Vera, I hear that you're on your phone. Thanks for joining us as best as you can. I have a question. Well, the question is, do you have questions? I want to jump into some new stuff, but I want to make sure that everyone is feeling comfortable with what we've got up until now. So, and if so, then I kind of want to move on to some new things. So how's it going? Any questions about what we've been doing? How are the people and pets going? Trips, finding things on the computer that you find on your phone, recently saved, all that kind of stuff that we've been talking about. Any questions? Extra questions or something like that? No? I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing any hands up. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Any questions in the chat? Nope. All right, well then let me, now that I can focus on you guys before I couldn't tell who was here. Hi, Mary Ellen. Hi, Molly. Hi, Mary. Hi, Harry. Hi, Carol. Hi, Vera. Kate, hi there. Bob. Nice to see you again, Yolanda and Bob and Carol. The rest of you guys, hello for the first time. And then that last person that you don't know who it is, that's my sister, because I'm on, you know, how I always connect with her computer as the second connection. So that's just that. You might notice we should his name, but she's Lydia. Okay. Now I have my homework that you guys had. Who remembers? You were supposed to do something. Who remembers what you were supposed to do? Yeah. What was
one
it?
each of the different settings of pano, live, time lapse, portrait, screenshot.
Hold on, because my headset isn't connected yet, and that's really noisy. Now we're all just for me. Okay, say that again. You were supposed to do.
Shoot at least one each of the different types: pano, live, time lapse, portrait, screenshot, slow-mo, long exposure, and then sign on iCloud at a different computer.
Yeah. So the last one you mentioned is a little bit separate. So the first one was basically use your phones and take a photo of at least one or two photos of every type of photos, media types. Remember that was showing up? Yeah. That can be shown. So if you did that, ideally, then now if you go here to the media types, you should see a whole new set of choices that maybe weren't there last week if you did that. So now again, no make right or wrong, just to know how many went out there and created some photos of a style that you hadn't tried before, of a media type you hadn't tried before. Give me a yes. And if you already had tried them and you already did know how to do it, then that's good. But yeah, Mary, you tried something new. What did you try that you hadn't tried? Oh, you're
Panoramic.
Pano. Okay, great. I noticed the other day that I had whisked through how to take a pano, but I hadn't demoed any panos. And here's some really cool panos that I took on this last trip. Things that you can't capture in one shot, right? I remember this is Chicago Union Station, and this is still crooked. I can still straighten it, but that's basically one end and the other end. So when you have something that's got straight lines, no, the Chicago Union Station doesn't have a rotunda. It's a square, it's a big rectangle. But when it's a small space like that and you use that feature, you get this kind of distortion. But it's really great. So this is up on Karma Park, and you can see basically all the way from Montecito all the way to the right. So this is like, you know, the whole spectrum of stuff in Santa Barbara. But yeah, this is again like Chicago Station. This is really one of those squares in Spain where you have you're inside of it and it's a rectangle, but this is kind of what happens. So it's better and worse. For some things it's also, do I have my arches? I don't have my arches photo here. Look at how awesome this redwood trees one is, where you just wouldn't have been able to, you know how big those things are. You can barely capture one. And doing that, you got a bit of an idea of the massive. Anyway, I'm looking for the arches. I have one that the whole arch is really good. I guess it's not here. Oh, well, this is Santa Barbara City College, up over the, this is the main campus. So like this is the whole more Mesa, then you see all the way there down to the, I guess that's Montecito and whatever. So it's just this whole little open amphitheater we have there at the top. Anyway, so here's the arch. I wasn't seeing it. Here it is, the arch. You can't capture this in a photo. Like it's so wide and there's no context here. There's no human or person, but if you saw a person, they'd be like about yay big. So there's no way in one camera angle to capture this, but if you just stand there right in the middle really carefully and go, then that I love that photo. All right, so great. How about, I see quite a few other yeses. What other new things did you try, Carol? Carol Sauceda, are you there? You hear me? You said you tried a new type of media. I can't hear you. You're muted. Why don't you guys write in the chat what you tried out that was new to you? Okay, so give me a little, I tried a panorama, or I tried a portrait, or I tried a something. We're going to talk about a few of those today, not so much from the shooting aspect, but from the continuing to handle them, in particular the portraits. Okay, Barbara, you said you tried a time lapse. Okay. Pano, another pano. By the way, Barbara, what did you choose to do a time lapse of?
Somebody on a golf course in a cart, and it was just hysterical.
Like running through really quick.
And I did one of the ocean waves.
Oh, that's nice. Cool. Well, hopefully it expanded your brain a little bit, and that you learned that your cameras are capable of doing stuff that you never knew of. Unfortunately, I can't dwell too much on teaching you how to take these things, but yes, once you have them, that you might notice that suddenly the choice of panorama came up, which you wouldn't have had otherwise. The choice of time lapse, if you did one, the choice of slow-mo did that, right? Now, I do want to spend a little bit more time on some of these types and things like that, but I want to work with albums today, and because I want to get to the place where we can do some editing of photos next week, because we only have 3 classes left, and the cameras can do so much more each time, that the same amount of hours per class, as the cameras become more capable, as the apps have many more features, I feel like it takes me longer and longer to get to this place. So I'm gonna start working with you guys with albums today. Now, up until now, everything we've been talking about is what the computer decided. Other than favorites that you just kind of clicked on to make something a favorite, the rest is the computer deciding. Where did you go a trip? And it uses the metadata to decide where you have gone to a trip to, and it puts them together under trips. Someone had asked me in the chat last time, and I noticed I didn't get to answer because I had said it earlier on, but then I didn't answer the chat question at the end. I noticed the featured photos. Again, it's the computer that decides what's the featured photo. I don't know what they choose. They choose maybe if it's, well, the lighting is correct, or if the people, I mean, I didn't choose which one of these were featured photos. The computer chose that. I wish I could choose which ones I think are featured photos. So the nearest I can get is to choose them as favorites, right? So yeah, I have no say in that. I can say right click and remove this from featured photos. So if I don't like it as a featured photos, I can tell it to remove one, but I can't go to any photo in my library and right click and say, add it to featured photos, because they're not albums that I've made. These I can add to albums that I have made. So today we're going to talk about albums that I have made, because ultimately these are also albums. They call them collections. But it's really the metadata, the computer deciding for you most of the time. And albums is where we make our own decisions. Now, one thing that's happened is that when we make our own decisions, we need to decide, do we duplicate what all these can do? So if before I might have made an album from New York, well, now maybe instead of making an album from New York, I can just go to map and choose New York, and there's my photos of New York. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to make an album of New York, but what if I took 2,000 pictures in New York? What I can do is make an album of the really good ones of New York, and maybe I choose 40. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't say New York and put all my pictures of New York. I would choose my good ones. And which ones are my good ones is just up to me. Featured photos might choose the one that's got the best light or whatever, but what if a person I don't want is in here? The computer doesn't know that. It's just a good photo, and that's why it appears. Versus an album, I can choose a photo that doesn't have the best lighting, that maybe is a little bit, crooked, but it's favorite for me because it reminds me of a great moment. So albums is a place where you put the stuff that you can know, that there's no way the computer would know. So you went to your daughter's wedding, and yeah, there's all the great wedding photos, and then there's the photos of the moment that you treasure because it represented what the wedding was for you. that would be an album. Does that make sense? Another reason to use albums would be if you have specific subdivisions of things. And I remember a client where she was very, very heavily into oh, I'm having a blank on the word. Her family tree, genealogy. I was having a blank on the word genealogy. So, so she was using albums to divide all the different people, the eras, the families, and that kind of thing. Now, there's something else called keywords that we can also use for album for things like genealogy, where things, you know, this person belongs to this family, but they also belong to this family, right? Because they're married and whatnot. So there's a way to do that also with keywords. But right now, we're going to focus on albums. So who already has some albums? If you already have an album, go ahead and give me a yeah. And then if you've never made an album, give me a no, just to see how from the beginning or not I start explaining albums. Okay. So most of you have albums. Kate,
Yeah.
how's it going? Molly, got it. Can you see if you can find?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Kate, I don't see a yes from you.
Oh,
If you know where, if you might not be here right now, that's fine.
no,
but
I'm
let me know.
here. I'm
No,
here.
Kate,
I
not
got it.
Molly. Not Molly.
Okay.
I said
okay.
Kate Novotny. Not Molly DeWald, but Kate Novotny.
Okay.
There we go. I'm talking to Kate. And sometimes she's there and I don't hear her because you're muted, so I don't hear her. Sometimes she's maybe not like paying attention right now. So I don't want to keep calling on her if she's not there, but I wanted to see. Okay. So I'm going to be assuming that most of you then, from what I see, yes, that you've all made albums. There's many different ways to make albums. My goal is to, since you have made albums, to show you the different type of albums that you can make and how you can stash them or store them in a way that makes more sense, and which is, and as I said, mainly not to avoid repeating the work that more and more Apple can do for you based on metadata or artificial intelligence, right? So, but first of all, before we start making albums, I wanted to show you how strong the search feature is. It's becoming stronger and stronger. Every time I demo it, it's better. So what if you're looking to make an album of photos of you skiing, for example, and throw it out, just a word. So then you might not know where to start because you might remember that you went skiing to this place and that place and that place. But if you ski in many different places, you can't really go to a place to find those photos skiing. And if you don't remember the dates that you went skiing, you might not be able to go find a date, right? So instead, you might want to see if you go to the search here, the photos search, and maybe write the word ski or skiing. I don't know. So when I write the word ski, one photo came up. And if I hit the space bar to see, yep, there we are on skis. So that's pretty cool. Now, I didn't have this one labeled in any way. I didn't have any album that said skiing. I didn't have any, oh, look at how tiny my guy was. Oh, this little guy just graduated from high school. And this one just graduated from college. Oh my God, they're so tiny. Anyway, but I just put the word ski. If on the other hand, I want beyond ski, but I want like the family and the snow, so then I can write snow. And then look at all the different photos in snow. Now, notice that when I write snow, I have the choice snow comes up and it says 30 plus, or I have snow belt, snow days, snowstorm, snowflake, and each one of these has a different little icon on it. They represent where those photos were found. So snow is me, my search renders me more than 30 choices. And snow belt has a little map kind of pin location. So I guess there's some photos of, we must have been in an area that was considered the snow belt. So that's based on places. Then we have something called snow days, and that little icon represents memories. And oh, look at that. It looks like a memory was made for me at some point by the computer. I didn't make it, called snow days. then there must be something that represents a snowstorm. I have a feeling it's probably the same one that came up
Yeah,
before.
that was snowstorm.
Or there might be the word snowflake somewhere. I thought this was words, and I don't think I have written snowflake anywhere. So let me click on, I'm curious to see what snowflake means. I'm going to click on it. Oh, look at that. I do have the word. Huh.
Oh, wow.
This surprised me. I have a little poem with the word snowflake. I was like, where did that come from? I had not practiced this one, you guys. I was just like, why, where did it say that? So now it can read text. So now since I chose snowflake, it's only showing me one because that's the only place it shows up. So now I'm going to kind of delete that. But let's go back to snow. Now let's see, what does it consider the snow belt? That's 11. Oh, there's no even, oh, there's no snow in these pictures, but these are from the area that's considered the snow belt. And this is like New York. These are all from New York. This is from the trip from this summer, just now. I guess this is considered the snow belt. I didn't know. Did you guys know of the area called the snow belt in our country? I didn't know that either. Well, there you go. And there's no snow in these, right? But I do know that this is all upper. We went from Albany all the way to Buffalo on a bike. And I guess that's considered the snow belt. Well, there you go. Now I've learned
Definitely.
something. Now I write the word snow again. That is, yes, a memory that the computer made for me at some point. It's this one when I open it up. Snowy days over the years, okay? And it's showing 2019, 2022, 2023. Okay, so basically it put together a lot of snow pictures that I have. Okay, so I did not make this one, but it was a memory made out of snow. So of course, when let me just cut it up. So when I went to write the word snow, it shows up, okay. And then snowstorm, what's this one? Oh, well, I guess it looks like a snowstorm. So that one just kind of describes the moment. So you see all the different photos that came up with the word snow. Now, if you never go to the snow, try water. Water, waterfront, watercraft, water pool. Looks like I have 84 waterfront pictures. All right, 130 plus of just the word water. But it might even be, I have a photo of something that there's very little water in this one, but you know, here we are, we're in the ocean. Anyway, so, and then, oh, look at that. This one, I guess, is snow, but I guess it's considered water. This one, I guess it's true. Snow is water. So I guess it's kind of pushing out a little bit. So go ahead and try some descriptive words that describe what you're at. And then after you try just single words, give it a try to put something a bit more specific. Like, I have no idea. I haven't tried this one. Wearing a red t-shirt. And look at that. A picture of someone wearing a red t-shirt popped up. I am guessing at this one. I didn't even know if I had anyone. This is a small album with not that many photos, and I managed to find a photo. And this is very new. This is the artificial intelligence where you can describe something like my I don't know what to say. Trying to figure out. Let me see. Posing next to a statue. And I guess look at all, oh, look at that. That's true. My son posing next to that statue. My friend next to that statue. And then it just picked up the word statue. Oh, this is me next to this statue. And then just statues, period. Well, this is not a statue. Oh my God. This is my son. This is my guy who's just graduated from high school. And he is riding on my tortoise. This is a huge tortoise that we have. But I guess the AI considered it some kind of a statue, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, so they're right and wrong. And there's a Statue of Liberty. And then this one, I guess we are posing next to a statue at the Met.
Amazing.
Anyway, I have a feeling if I had just said the word statue there,
Would it have given me the same answers? No. Statue gives me different answers. Posing next to a statue gave me those where I was literally sitting. Oh no. Let me take some similar ones, but now I consider this to be a statue, which it really isn't, but it is not. It isn't. Oh, not considered a statue. Anyway, so has anyone come up with an interesting search feature that might have worked? Like town plaza. And yeah, it's giving me all these different photos that could be of a town plaza, including my son at the mission at his in one of his paintings, and another one that he did a different year. I guess that's considered the town plaza. All right, so anyone want to share something that you found just using the search that you wouldn't have found otherwise? Again, not a single word, but like a description, like what I said, wearing a red shirt, or running. Do I have anything under running? No, I guess my family doesn't run too much. All right.
Take, take
Throw out some words or give me some ideas that you guys are trying out, and I'll see if I can try them out on mine. Village house. Okay, it includes everything from some little houses that I make in ceramics to actual village houses. So in the past, you could look for very specific things that you had. Now you can be more generic, and it'll pull up the things that it can find or that apply to that. But I'm not getting the best examples. Did anyone give me some examples in the chat?
Yes,
I chose cats, but it did include my dog and a picture of Obama under cats. Okay.
Diana,
All right. Yes.
Very often what irritates me is that when I am looking for a picture in my, and I have, as you know, like about 47,000 pictures.
Yeah. Tons. Yeah.
What will come out is something that I did not choose or something, but it's something where it will play music and it will keep on moving, and all I wanted to do is get a picture of something that I can share to somebody else that I had a picture.
Okay. So
How do I stop that?
so here's what you're saying. So say that I go for snow again, right? Snow. So if what I choose to select is one of these memories, when you click on them, they show up as moving music and all that kind of stuff. So a memory shows up like that. But if you just choose a photo, if I just go to this one and I hit the space bar, it's just that one photo, right? So since it's hard for me to extrapolate from what you're saying, if you're clicking maybe on one of the memories, and that's why it's got music and video and stuff. But if you choose top results or 30 results and you just click on that, it should just be the photo. Do you want to try to search for something and then share your screen so I can help you with that?
Okay. Okay, so let me see.
Stop my share.
Okay.
Anyone else having some questions about what they find and how they find it?
See,
Now
is
I'm
that
going to show you some samples later of albums and searches, but for now, okay. All right, I'm seeing you now.
You are screen sharing. It says that you are screen sharing, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, you are. I see your screen. I see your screen. So now open your Photos app.
Photos app.
It's this one here. Hold on. This guy right there in your dock. Go to your dock and click there on your Photos app.
That's
oh no, that's Google.
No.
I'm sorry.
No,
You're
the one
right.
on top.
Here, that little photo there. Sorry, I was Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. Thank you. Okay, so now let's go
Go.
ahead and first of all, you don't have a search feature in there because you've already got a big photo. So hit the space bar so this becomes small, or click on this arrow up
Space.
there to back
Right.
out of this mode.
Click twice
Yeah,
or
click.
just
No, simply click, one click. Okay, now here's your search bar, right?
oh,
Over there in your feature, right there. So go
yeah.
ahead and
Search bar.
right there. Oh, look at you. This is my mom. Oh, how cool. You're looking for photos of my mom. Oh.
Behind there are relics of saints, you know, relics of saints.
I
Oh, let me
love that.
see.
Okay, so
Yeah.
go ahead and go into the search and write something in the search bar. So Yolanda, take your mouse way up there. So where I'm pointing up, yeah,
Okay.
click in the search in there. Let me now get all my pink stuff off. So there where it says search, a little bit higher up. Maybe you have the zoom stuff in the way. There, click right there. Yeah,
Right
click
here.
right there. Yeah, just click your mouse.
Click your mouse.
You might have zoom things in the way. You need to click on the word search there to see if that's a bit further and it doesn't have
Do
the
I
zoom.
click on the left or on the right of my mouse?
Regular right right is the normal click. What would be your left click is your normal click? Yeah, left.
Nothing is
I
going.
think you must have the zoom stuff here and you're not seeing it. Do you see the word search?
Search.
I am
Uh,
surrounding the word search with pink. Do you see that at all?
I only see like little squares in blue and then two whites and then one white.
Yeah, so you've got some zoom stuff in the way you need to get rid of. Or grab the photo app from here and drag it or make it a bit smaller or something so that you can see it. Can you grab it from the top right there and then just pull it down a bit so it, yeah, so are you seeing the search right now or do you still have stuff over there?
All I see is both libraries and iPhoto events.
Okay, after iPhoto events, if you keep going over there, do you see the word search?
Uh, no, I see your pink stripe.
Okay, go follow the pink box. Go inside the pink box that I just wrote. Keep going to the right. And there, inside of that pink box, can you click your mouse? Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Nothing. So I think you have something in the way that we can't see. Here, let me get remote control. Let me move your program around so that I can. Sometimes, guys, do you see the request for remote control? Can you say yes to that?
I, I think my eyes had been so bad. I cannot. What
Let
do
me
I?
try again. I'm saying request remote control. Do you see something saying that you need to say yes or allow?
Oh, I see. Okay, a username Diana is requesting, and then if you approve, this person will be able to. So where do
Yeah.
I? Oh yeah, over here I confirm that I know and touch and trust this user. I
Yeah.
can.
There we go. You're seeing it. We're not seeing it. It's just for you. Okay, say yes. Say confirm. Click on that. I don't have control yet. There we go. Okay, so don't move your mouse. Now I have control. Okay, so now let me see, because I don't have that thing that you have in the way, so I can move it over a bit. I don't know how far it is that you have this, but do you see this now? The search right there?
Yeah,
Like
it says April
here?
2014.
Do you see this?
It says with Lydia Maureti. Is that the one you wanted me to
Yes.
see?
Now I want you to put your mouse right there yourself. We're going to delete that, right? And I
Right.
want you to write something else. Yeah, just hit the delete key, get rid of that. And now write some other search. I want to see, click on that the delete key of your keyboard. There we go. And write Anika. Okay. Now, you mentioned that whenever you find something, yeah, go ahead, and if that's what you wanted, click on that. You mentioned that you get sound and movement. That would only happen here if it's a collection.
When you
Okay.
say here, what is the here for? What did you mean
Do
by
you,
here in
do
this?
you see me making pink circles around
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
those three?
Yeah.
Those have noise and music and sound, but these are single photos. So if you really wanted to find a single photo, go ahead and say that this is the photo that you wanted. And now you see that I made a little pink box down here at the bottom.
Bottom, right
Yeah.
here,
Click on that one. And now hit your space bar.
space bar.
And that shows you one photo. This is not
Oh, okay.
music or video, it's just a photo. If this is
Uh-huh.
not the one you wanted, you can hit your space bar one more time to go down again.
Okay, well, those are the ones I wanted because I don't know why very often they keep on moving and I mean, and I did not
Okay,
ask for the music and the
so hit the space bar again.
space bar again.
Yeah. If you want to avoid the music and the movement, don't ever click on this on top.
Don't
Any
ever.
of these. Don't click
Oh,
on these because these collections, okay,
oh,
these collections that the computer makes for you, these have music and movement, and these are the ones that you don't want. So
oh,
don't click on any of those because these have, yeah, they show them to you with like in a little video format. But from
yeah.
here down, all the rest of what's here is individual photos. All the rest of this is just a picture and it doesn't have movement. Just
Oh,
avoid these collections, okay? This is for
okay,
everyone.
thank you.
So now scroll
Let's know that.
down and down until you find the photo that you want, and then you can open it up and send it or do whatever you want to do as a
Oh,
single photo.
I see.
Say it's
Thank you
that one.
so
Go ahead
much.
and click on that one that your mouse is on. And now hit the space bar. Space bar
It is.
helps you see it in big. And now that one, if you want to send it to someone, you can, and this is for everyone, when you want to share these photos, you go to this little up arrow that's right there. And then you see that little, yeah, and you click on that. And then you go, what do I want to do? Do I want to email it or do I want to text it, messages, or do I want to put it in a note for those of you who are in my morning class? What do you want to do with this photo, right? So
Oh,
that's what you get to do.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I'm going to stop your share now. Did everyone figure out now how to share a photo, find a photo, choose a photo, and share a photo? If that was clear based
Yeah.
on what I've been sharing with Yolanda, go ahead and hopefully you've tried it. Go ahead and give me a yes.
Uh, uh, give a yes where on the react.
Yeah. In the React. Okay.
Thank you so much. Wow.
All right. So I like what Harry said, that rather than horizontally, he says, I took panoramas vertically, like waterfalls and tall buildings. That's a great use of panorama. I don't think I have any samples here, but I've done that before. Let me see in my media types, panos. I had a sample of, nope, I don't have it here. But a lot of times, yeah, like it's interesting because here, you know how I took this panorama here of the redwood? I actually have a pano where you turn your camera around and you just go up and down. And I have a whole sequoia tree, redwoods, which these are things that are huge. And you can, so you can do that. You can turn your camera around and do the same process of pano.
Diana, are you
and you go
showing
up
us?
and down. Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so this is, if you put your camera sideways, you can do a pano upwards. And so it's good for, like you said, tall buildings or waterfalls, or I did it with these trees. And yeah, I have some good New York ones where I did that. In fact, if I go to New York, I'm pretty sure there's a building in New York that's really cool. But I know I did that. I don't know if I have it here. This is a vertical panorama picture. The ceiling was just fascinating. This is a subway station of all things, believe it or not. And at the World Trade Center. And I just stood there with my camera sideways on wide angle, and I just did it as if the pano was going up. So this is an example of doing that. Your camera, a regular camera, would have captured like, you know, this little bit like that. So that's a sideways pano.
Wow.
And here's another one. I like the second one better. And I've done that a bunch. And this might even be one of those where I went upwards to that whole building there, but I don't know. But for sure, this one is a sideways pano. It's long and skinny. Anyway, so okay, so let's back to albums. So as long as you're pretty clear that albums should be things that the metadata can't figure out and that's special to you, like that vacation in New York, my special 20, not all photos of New York, that's an example, or an event, your favorite ones, that kind of thing. Then let's figure out, there's a couple different ways to make albums. The first one we're going to use is just go ahead, and I'm going to make these photos a little bit smaller so we can see more at a time. Which, by the way, when Yolanda was seeing them there, she was seeing them really tiny. And sometimes it's hard to tell when you're seeing them so tiny what they are. So you might want to go to this area right here, where you can choose to make them a little bit bigger. Now, if you make them too big, then it's hard to get a gander of everything that you've got. So somewhere in between that you feel comfy, that you can see them enough. So maybe somewhere like that might be a good idea. Now, once you have the photos the size you want and you start scrolling, you go, okay, so which of all of these is a favorite for me, or which one represents something that I want to save? There's so many different ways of making an album. The first and easiest one is to first choose your photo. Like, I want to make a photo of, say, I'm going to make an album of my favorite buildings, for example. Say that it's all about the architecture of the photos of this trip. So I'll select this one. Then I'm going to hold down my Command key, because the next one is not a building. I can't do them in a row. I'm going to hold the Command key, and then I'll select this one. And then I'll select this one and that one. See how I'm selecting some that are just not contiguous. They're all over the place. So at this point, it even tells me I have 5 photos selected. I'm going to keep going. I'm still holding down the Command key. Now I'm going to select that one and then this one, right? So now I have 7 photos selected. So say that that's an album that I want to make. I have pre-selected the photos. So everyone, we're going to just invent an album. It doesn't matter if later you throw it away. We're just testing. So don't spend too much time finding the perfect photos for the album. This is just a learning process. So it's an album that if later you don't choose, it doesn't matter. So select, go to some place where you have more than one photo that you want. And if not, just random. Select, hold down the Command key, select another one, hold down the Command key, select another one. So you'll end up with a series of photos that are pre-selected. And now you can, in so many different ways, make this album. The easiest that I'm going to show you is going over to the left side to the albums little tab. One of many ways. Okay. Go over here, and when you hover over it, over the word album, then a little plus sign appears. You see that wasn't there when I'm not hovering over it? Now, when I hover over it, see that plus sign? I'm going to click on that plus sign, and I'm going to say album, because I want to make an album. When I let go, an album that's collected my 8 photos appears, and it's called Untitled Album. For you guys, remember Untitled Folder that we found this in the, when we were filing images? And I'm going to just go ahead and call this one buildings, for example. When I click away, that is an album created out of my selection from the library. Now, if that worked for you and you were able to make one like that, give me a yes. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. I'm going to Command Z until I get back to not having that. And I'm going to do that again. So what did I do? I went and clicked on a building, held my Command key, clicked on another building. I have so many that I can do this again and again. Another building, that's inside of a building. Right? Another building, another building. So I'm holding down my Command key and I'm clicking, oh, sorry, I went too fast. Clicking on buildings everywhere. Okay. And when I have enough, I'll go to the album's plus sign. And this is the part that I want you guys to see. Right next to the albums, there is no plus sign right now. It's up to me to, oh, and I just clicked away, so I lost my buildings. It's up to me to put my mouse on the word albums and then the plus sign will appear. Once I click on that plus sign, then I can choose that word album. And now my building has been made of those albums and I get to call this one buildings again. Now, if you were able to make a, I might have asked this already, but now, if you were able to make an album based on random, like not contiguous images that you selected holding down the Command key, then give me a yes. And I'll answer your question in a minute, Barbara. I'm just trying to get first just to make albums before we fix the ones that are there. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the phone too. So like Vera, for example, right now is just on her phone. So maybe you can make some albums on the phone, but right now we're starting on the computer. So Bob and Yolanda and Molly, where are you? Hi, Thomas, by the way. I saw you come in when I was in the middle of talking.
Yeah, we need more time to do it.
I don't know.
Give us a few minutes.
I'll give you, but you know what?
What?
Don't try to get like picky right now. Just for the learning part, hold down one photo, Command key, and click on two more. It doesn't matter what they are, just for the learning. Just click on 4 photos to get the feeling for, okay, there's 4 random photos. Go to the albums, click the plus sign, and click on the album and call it random or test or something, and you'll get rid of it later, just to get the system down, okay? So again, I don't care if you pick good photos that later you really want or not. I just want the technology of how to make it happen is what I want.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right. Now, what if I didn't name it right, or I did a typo like I did, or if I don't want it, or whatever? So we're going to go to all the what ifs. But for now, what if I just want to get that name? I can right click and rename it. So now I can go back in there and give it beautiful buildings, for example. I don't know. Oh. I swear I'm not dyslexic, but in class when I'm having to do this at like out, it's just so funny because we were talking about that with my sister who can never tell right from left. It's a kind of dyslexia, but for writing. But whenever I'm teaching, I tend to do these weird BEUA for beautiful. All right. And then here's an album that I don't want because I made it just to test and I don't want it. So maybe, Barbara, your empty albums. Okay. What if I don't want this album? The one that I just made you make, if you want it, keep it. But I really do want you guys to be making some whatever albums because I want you to be able to be comfortable throwing them away as well. So this isn't your final one to keep. I don't want you to choose the find good photos. I want you to choose 3 any photos, make it, and then throw it away because I want to teach you how to throw away an album too. So if you don't have an album you're ready to throw away, go back to the library, choose 3 random photos. You will not delete the photo. You will only delete the album. And I'm going to preview to that. Go choose 3 random photos. Go back to album, right click, make this one. And I'm going to call this one 3. 3. Okay. So I just made 3 albums that are pretty random. They're just for teaching. And I'm going to show you a different way to make albums, but that's one way.
Okay.
I also want to show you how to add to that. So say that this one belongs in there. I'm going to grab it and just drag it to 3. So now the 3 are 4. Okay, because I just threw something in there. Or I want to grab this photo and I'm going to put it under random. So just because you make a photo doesn't mean an album, doesn't mean it sticks there. So now in my beautiful buildings, I ended up putting a person. That certainly doesn't belong under beautiful buildings, right? So let's just throw stuff into some albums and then let's start fixing them or doing stuff with them. So does everyone have like 2 or 3 albums that are ready to be messed around with? Yeah. Give me a yes if you made some albums that have no meaning to you. That way you can mess around with them. Yes, Barbara?
Yeah.
If you haven't, then make them. Yes, Barbara?
So I clicked on albums and I added an album and said Hawaii, but no pictures are coming up. And I've been to Hawaii many times.
Okay,
Is
so
it because I didn't click on
hold
the
on.
pictures first?
You made an album called Hawaii?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's a different way of making albums. It's not the way I'm showing you right now. Right now I'm saying yes. First you choose your pictures, right?
Okay.
And then you make the album. That's what I'm showing you right now. There's another way to make an album called Hawaii to put things in there. But right now, 3 random beautiful buildings. These I made the same way. I first selected my 3 pictures or my 7 pictures or whatever many pictures I want. Then I made my album. So these are the ones that got selected. So now I name it based on the photos that I took. And I'm going to call this Rota because these photos are all from a city called Rota. Does that make sense? I didn't expect an album called Rota to be filled with, I just called it Rota myself because I know that's where these come from. Got it, Barbara?
I'm trying it right now.
Okay, so there's like 8 ways to make albums. So the first one I'm showing you is choose the pictures first. I'm going to show you the same thing. I'm going to choose water, still 4 photos of water. Meaning we were on a coastline here. This is Ibiza, by the way. And then I can, instead of going to the album and plus sign and all that, okay, so everyone go and choose 3 more pictures, random, I don't care what. So 3 pictures. Now you can right click and you can say create, sorry, not create, add to.
Wait.
And remember, these are random photos, so it doesn't matter too much. We are right clicking on 1. So I selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just click anywhere where there's 1 and I right click on 1 of them. It doesn't matter that I have 5 selected. I right click on 1 of them and this shows up.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, but if you don't see me, I'll stop and start again. Okay, here I am.
Okay.
So now let me start again. I select 3 photos. So I'm going to select this, 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 and this. So these happen to be together, but I'll select these 4 photos and I'm going to right click. I'm going to add them to one of my albums that I've already made. So I'm going to add this one to the beautiful buildings, for example.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay.
added them to beautiful buildings. So now I go look at my beautiful buildings and, oh yeah, there's the 4 that I just added. Another way to add is to just drag. I'm going to drag it. So if you've been able to add to an album by either dragging and dropping or by right clicking and adding to an existing album, right click. So you need to have like, here, select 2 or 3 more. Right click. And add to beautiful buildings. If you were able to do that, look at how many I'm getting in my beautiful buildings now. I keep adding to it. If you were able to do that, add photos to an existing album, either by dragging a photo and dropping it into the album, or by right-clicking and adding it to the existing album, then give me a yes. Okay, I'm getting lots of yeses. Anyone needs a hand with that?
No, I'm
You're good?
doing it. Doing
Okay.
it. I got it.
So now
Okay,
I've got
so-
a lot of buildings in here and a person that is not a building. We'll deal with that in a minute because sometimes things get thrown in there that aren't right. Then I have a random, and then I have one that's specifically a place, another random. So these are all the ones that we're working on. Okay. So let's say that this one that's called random, I don't want anymore. So does everyone have an album that they're willing to just throw away? Hopefully you made one. Okay, let me clear your answers.
Yeah, wait a minute.
So this album I don't want anymore. And here's the part that everyone really gets worried about. Will I lose these photos? Like, no. But let me go all the way back to the beginning of the explanation.
Okay.
This photo exists only one time. So you might think, oh, well, then if I get rid of it, this album, I'm going to lose this one photo. No. Let me go and explain. If I go to that photo, which is somewhere over here, I don't know. Now I got to find it here. This photo is going to be always one photo only. And it's in my library based on
Got it.
what? What's it based on? When it's in the library, what's it based on? Why is it in this place and not there and not there? Why is this photo here? Who remembers? Why doesn't it show up between these two or between these two? Why does this one show up right there? What's the reasoning of how photos appear under the library?
Because of the time that you took it?
Yep. Date and time. That's the only reason it's here and not there or there. I took this one before I took that one and after I took that one. So it shows up here. So I have no way to move it. I can't drag it over here so it looks better next to that one. I can't do that. Okay. But once I put it in an album, then I can put it in Rota because it belongs to Rota. I can put it under 3. I can put it into random and I can put it under beautiful buildings. What if it belongs to all 3? Because what if it is a beautiful building, but it's also in Rota and it's also works for the album random. So now if I go to Rota, there it is. If I go to 3, there it is. If I go to random, there it is. And if I go to beautiful buildings, there it is. This photo has not been quadrupled. This photo is just one time here, and it has been pointed towards these guys so that all 3 of them display that one photo. All 4 of them display that one photo. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah.
You're all clear about that?
Yeah.
The only way to get rid of this photo is if I delete this one photo. And if I delete this one photo, it's going to disappear from all these albums. From all of them. So let's not delete this one photo. But what if I go to beautiful buildings and I go, well, this doesn't belong in beautiful buildings. Oh, this actually does have a building there, but say it doesn't belong. then I can right click on this photo and I can go to the bottom and say remove from the album, not delete the photo, just remove from the album.
Mm.
See that? Remove it from the album. It's gone. If I go back to my library, there's the photo still there. And the photo's still in the random and 3 and under Rota. It's just not under beautiful buildings anymore. Again, I haven't thrown a photo away. It's not going to be in recently deleted. Just
Right.
the little pointer towards that is gone. If instead I delete that one, I delete that one photo for real, like I'm going to do that now. It's still in all these albums. If I now right click and actually delete the photo, it'll be deleted from all my devices,
All
from all my
devices.
albums, from everywhere. I'll delete it. Now it's gone. It's not in my library anymore. It's not in Rota, it's not in 3, and it's not in random because I deleted it. I deleted that photo. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I can go to recently deleted, view album, use my password, and I can, hold on. I should have, and here it was, and I can right click and recover it.
Recover.
So once I recovered it, oh, by the way, this is kind of cool. See how it says 1 day left? Remember that I threw these away at the beginning of our class? And I
Mhm.
told you it would last for 30 days.
30 days.
Looks like it's been 29 days, so it's warning me that there's only 1 day left for those photos. There's 8 days left for this one and 23 days left for that one. So if I
Mhm.
want to save any of these, after
better
this,
do
they're
it.
gone. So when we meet next week, we will only have 1 day left on that one. And you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Anyway, I'm going to let them disappear, so I'm not going to do anything. But I did want to show you that I just recovered that photo. If I go back to my library, it's in the exact same place. Why is it in the exact same place? Because it belongs, because of date and time, to this exact moment. But if I go back to Rota, oh, it put itself back in the albums. And back to this one, it's back in 3. It's back in random. And it's not in beautiful buildings because I had taken it out of beautiful buildings. If all of this like made sense and worked and you've been able to replicate that, give me a yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Taking a photo from an
Okay.
album, putting it away, not
Yeah.
deleting the original one. And in fact, if you delete it, notice that when you undelete it or recover it, it goes back to the albums that it belonged to. So
Right.
now if you don't want it here, you need to take it out of here again, right? If it wasn't supposed to be under Rota, this is in Lisbon, this is not Rota. I'm going to right click and I'm going to just remove the photo from the album.
Yeah.
Phew. Now it's not in the wrong place. Now it only belongs under 3 and random. Okay.
Right.
Now, what if I delete an entire album? What if I go
Yeah.
to this little 3
Ah.
here and I don't want that album anymore?
Uh-huh.
Guess what? If I delete the album, I don't lose the photos. Watch. I right click and delete the album. Let's keep an eye on this Lisbon one.
Mhm.
I delete the album one.
Mhm.
Are you sure you want this album? The items will still be visible in your photo library and other albums that contain them. This
Mhm.
album will be removed from the iCloud photos and all your devices, so I won't find this one anywhere once I delete it. Now I've got Rota, Random, and Beautiful, but I've lost my 3, but the photos that were there are still there, and they're still in the library. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
As long as you don't delete the photo itself, which you can go into a random and choose to delete this photo from here. If I were to do that, that's not good, but I could, then I would lose the photo from everywhere, but don't. You can remove it from the album and not delete it.
Yes.
Okay? So, Barbara, were you able to throw away your empty albums now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to clear your answers. Before I move on to a different way of making albums, Is everyone clear on how to make them? How
Yes.
to fill them up with more stuff that fits the bill?
Mhm.
How to add, how to take away, how to recover, how to change the name of your album. Instead of calling it random, I'm going to right click and rename this one into, I don't know, Lisbon, even though I don't know that this is only Lisbon. And in fact, it isn't. These are all mixed up.
Mhm.
So then there we go. We have them renamed. Now, another way to make an album, let's click on the word albums now. Another way to make an album, say that you are going for one of those family trees, or you're gonna, every time you see a photo that you like of a plant, say you take pictures of plants. I know I have a lot of plants in here. Say you have a lot of plants that you like. You pre-make that album. So I'm going to say plus make an album. I have nothing selected. I'm going to call this one flowers. It's empty. So that's like the one that someone said that they called Hawaii. It's empty. It's just an album called Flowers. Could have been called Hawaii. I just made an empty album. Now I start looking for flowers, and I can do that by looking.
Search.
Or I can do that by searching. But oh, look, behold, I just found a photo of a flower. I can just drag it in there. Good. Now, see how before it was an empty little icon? Now that icon has one flower. Okay. And this is typical of when you have tons and tons of photos, and you just know that whenever you find a good, in this case, flower, or a good photo of your son, or a moment that you think is like incredible, you're going to put it in there. So now you're going to keep looking, and then you go, oh, look, another flower. I so happen to not be seeing any flowers now, but here's more flowers. I drag it in there. So an album can be sitting there just waiting for you to fill it whenever you find a good one. And it can start empty. You just know, like, I have albums for like textures or clouds or stuff, but I'm not looking for clouds. As I'm looking at my photos, I suddenly go, oh, look, these are good flowers. And I just drag them in there. In my case, I say, oh, no, those are good textures, or those are good clouds, or those are good whatever. And I put them in there. Of course, I could have also gone and done a search for flowers. And then it's like, oh, look at that. I had that one there. I can just put that one in there. So I put the flowers in there. And I like that one. I put flower in there. Right? But look, it found flowers that are mosaic flowers because, I didn't say real life plant flowers. I just said the word flowers. So it found flowers. Here's another flower. Thing is that when I go to my flowers album, I can collect flowers in my flowers album for years, right? So it's not like I'm going to sit there, I'm going to pre-select my flowers, because these flowers are from all over the place. In fact, if I look over here, the dates, it looks like I'm spanning May 2021 to April 2025. So I wouldn't have been able to like select before I made my album, because they're all over the place. It's more like create the folder and they will come. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I do that for albums of like my absolute favorites of my family. I'm like random and I go, oh my God, that's a great one. I'll just go put it in there, right? Because yeah, now I just like it and put it in there. Oh, here's my mom again. Oh, nice. And my sister. It's my sister who was here for a little bit. Anyway. Cool. So that's, you pre-make the album and then you just fill it in. All right. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you is how to organize this, because if you end up having, 55, I don't know if you saw when Yolanda shared her screen, she had, tons and tons of albums. A lot of you guys who've had photo albums for a long time, Photos app for a long time, you have a ton and a ton and a ton of albums. Why? Because all of these things didn't exist before, right? So everything you divided, you made an out. So if you'd gone on a trip, you'd write New York, then you'd go favorites of New York, you'd have another album. Then you'd been in New York 10 times. So you'd have one for each time you've been in New York. Then you'd have, the buildings of New York. So next thing you know, you might have 15 or 20 albums of your trips to New York, right? Now, so many of those choices can be made automatically by location, by time. I can just go ahead and write New York up here, and boom, any photos that are from New York appear. Now, of course, I told you that I just traveled in New York, so I have a lot of like New York State or New York metropolitan area or New York with Vicky. And this is the one I wanted to show you. I have already made an album called New York with Vicky. So before, no albums were appearing, but I did make an album. If I kind of scroll down, oh, I guess I had made it and I got, no, here it is, Vacations. There it is, New York with Vicky. So I had
Okay.
made an album called New York with Vicky in the past. So if I
Okay.
click on it, it goes to my album that I had made. So if I now look for flowers, which before was showing me all these other flowers, now it also shows the flowers album that I made. Does that make sense? And it looks like I have two flowers albums. The one that I just made, and I guess I had another one under, yeah, I had one already in the past that I made that I have under Fahrenheit photos. Okay. So
Can you merge the flowers albums?
yeah,
Since you have
I
two?
can. Since I have that flowers album and this flowers album, either these are the ones I consider fine art and I don't want to merge them, and then I just have to change the name of the other one. Or, oh wow, I've collected them twice. So then watch, and this is, I'll just practice it now, but I can select all the photos from this flowers album, either by dragging across like that, or I can click on the first one, hit shift and click the last one. Any way in which way you parse it, I have 7 photos selected here. Now, if I go to these 7, hold on, I probably have some overlaps. I think some of these are overlaps.
Yeah,
I think that's the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing. So when I select these photos, I can drag them to flowers, to my other one. Okay, I drop them in there. So now this one has many more flowers. Now I can get rid of this one because they're all in there. Now I'm going to right click, delete the album. And now I've got the flowers of my first album and my second album in here. There's not that many. It's not like 5 plus 7. It's actually less because many of them were in both already. But notice I don't see duplicates. If it was already there, it didn't give me 2 of the same. It just didn't put it in there. Like I know this one is new because I didn't have it. I just took it this summer, so I know it didn't exist. But I'm pretty sure that most of the rest were already in this album, because I've taken them at other times. This is the one that's just from April of this year. So yes, you can join them by dragging them all, making it one, and then getting rid of the other one. Now, this is what I want to show you. If you have a ton of albums, instead of having them all loose, and this is, remember, I think all of you were in my Mac level 1 class. Were you? No, you weren't all in my Mac level 1 class. But in my Mac level 1 class, I've been teaching people how to create folders to hold their files. And then I was telling them, but don't have 400 photos in your documents. I'm sure you can gather a bunch and call them all, writing. And then your novels, your journalists, your articles, your poems can all go into that in folders called poems, articles, and novels, in one folder called writing. So then you condense things, right? Instead of having, 45 loose folders, they can all be condensed. Same with these albums. If I have an album called Mushrooms, here I'm going to put I'm taking them out right now. We'll call them textures. I'm actually taking them out by dropping them in the general albums thing. So, and I'm just kind of undoing what I had. So I'm just taking them out, taking them out, taking them out. And now I have an empty album. I'm going to delete this folder, which is now empty. Okay. So now I'm beginning to collect a ton of loose albums. And inside of some of those albums, there's even more. So there's a mushrooms folder, and I have Cambria mushrooms or big mushrooms, right? So there's just like 2 different folders for mushrooms. All of this can be really overwhelming. I'm going to take the mushrooms folder out of the folder called mushroom albums. And so now I'm just got like an empty mushroom. So I'm just kind of undoing the structure that I already had to kind of redo it. So now it begins to get like, should I look over there for mushrooms or over there for mushrooms? Over here, I have different types of pottery. So, and I have all my different vacations, but isn't it nicer if I have organized, right, under a folder, the stuff to make it easier. So if I have, let's say that I want a folder for plants, let's do that. So I can go under my albums and right click and I can make a folder instead of an album. A folder is not going to hold photos. A folder does not hold loose photos. It holds albums. Okay. So if I click on folder and I call this one plants, right? Hit return. Now the mushrooms are a plant, so I can put that one under plants. And flowers are plants. I'm going to drag it under plants. And then the Cambria mushrooms are plants, so I'm going to put it under plants. Does that make sense? Now,
Yeah.
how you organize things is up to you. Like you don't necessarily have to. Sorry, I keep doing it. So now under plants, I open up and I have mushroom flowers, Cambria mushrooms. Under trips or vacations, I have different things. Okay, so you look at your photos and maybe you have, here I have a family. Under family, I have a couple of different people, but I could have group pictures. So I could, inside of family, I can make a folder, an album called Great Family Group Photos, for example. So whenever I find a family group photo that I like this one, I'm going to just go ahead and put it under there. Or if I go to my library and I search for family group, let's see. Oh, it's coming up with my album. Yeah, that one, it didn't work. So family. Look at that. That's a great family. I like that one. I'll put it under great family group photos. And how about this one? That's a great one. But this one, that's a great one. So now I'm just putting all my little group photos that I like. That's a family group. I'm going to take it there. So I just made that album. And when I look, oh, I guess these I had dragged from the other place. These are individual ones. That was me because I dragged it from the other album, so that was wrong. So these are great family group photos, but they are under family. So I can close that. I can close my plants, and now I have rocks and textures, and I have textures over there, and I have skies over there. So now I can have some close-ups over there. So now I can make a folder with all those. So I'm going to make a folder called
Nature.
I had called them fine art. These aren't fine art though, but that's what they were called before. But yeah, maybe nature photos. Why am I up? I have my caps lock. Nature photos. All right, rocks goes in there. Rocks goes into nature photos. Oh, because I didn't make a folder. Okay, so you know how someone had asked me about merging things? You could have also put the flowers over the flowers and it would have merged them. So this wasn't a folder, this was an album. That was my mistake. So let me get rid of it. The album. And I need to make a folder called Nature Photos. Okay. I'm going to grab my rocks, put them under Nature's. I'm going to get my whole folder called Plants, put it under Nature Photos. I can put a folder in there too. Then I'm going to take my textures. Well, that's maybe I have textures of a pair of jeans, but I don't happen to do that, to have that. But I could also have different textures. Skies, under Nature Photos, close-ups, under Nature Photos. So now, there we go. Under Nature Photos, if I open it up, I have rocks, textures, skies, close-ups, and plants, flowers, mushrooms, and cambric mushrooms. Does that make sense? So I've condensed. Then I have loose photos of other type and kinds, albums. If I can fit them into something, that's fine. If not, I'll keep making albums. But ideally, you don't have ridiculous amounts of albums. Let me know if you've been able to make a folder that holds a few albums. Give me a yes. Hi, Bob. By the way, you joined us when I was in the middle of explaining, so hopefully you're able to catch up. And if not, ask me if you need to, so I can help you catch up. Oh, there you go. You said yes. Okay. So did you make a folder and put some stuff like-minded, so let's say albums, into it? Now, Rota might be able to go into a vacation, or it could go into places. Or I could have like a folder called Spain, or I could have a folder called Europe, or I could have a folder called trips. But notice that trips exists here now. This is relatively new. But just because trips exist here doesn't mean that it's collected my trips. I don't see it here, right? So me going in here, I can divide amongst all the other photos, the photos of Rota, right? So maybe I make my own trips folder. I'm going to make a folder called my trips. And then Rota is going to be in there. And remember, this isn't about putting every photo, but it's about putting my chosen photos of that place, because I could find many more photos of Rota if I just go by maps. But this is my sub-selection. Maybe I can call it Rota favorites, or best of Rota, or best of Lisbon, right? New York with Vicky. Maybe I go to New York a lot, so that one's New York with Vicky, and then I have a different New York set of photos, which I do. All these are New York as well, but they're in like up north New York, so to say, right? So then I can go ahead and select this set here and choose from this set of northern New York what I want. Okay. How does that work, you guys? I'm going to stop my share for a minute. How's that working? Were you able to make albums within albums and make sense of it? And what would happen if you get rid of a folder? What happens if I choose, oh, here, let me share my screen again, because the question might be, what happens if I get rid of a folder? So here I have an album called Test Album. It's inside of Vacations. Vacations is a folder. What if I right click and delete the folder? Are you sure you want to delete this folder? This will also delete every album that's inside this folder, but it won't delete the photos, okay? But it will delete the album. So if I delete nature, then I will, what's this one? If I delete the nature photos, it will delete every one of these albums. So be very careful. You don't want to lose all this organization. Now, will I lose the rocks photos? No, but I'm gonna go have to find them all over again. And look, they span from 2019 to 2024. I mean, very well to find them. So if I get rid of vacations and I right click and delete the folder, delete, I have lost that other test one, but the photos that went into are not gone. And how do I make sure? If I go to recently deleted and I check in here, there's nothing new. I didn't delete anything today. I just deleted the folder and all the albums inside of it. So I've lost all that work and all that organization, but I haven't lost the photos. Does that make sense? If you ever wonder, did you lose the photos? Come to your recently deleted and see if there's anything that says that there's 30 days left, basically, that you just deleted. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mhm.
All right. How are we doing with that? Yeah. I'm going to show you guys now what it's like to have all of this on your phone. So, by the way, homework is make albums. Almost more importantly than make albums, it's make photos within albums. Okay? Like make folders with albums inside. So make albums within folders. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh,
Okay? Sorry, I'm trying to share my phone, but I need to first unlock it. Okay. And now I'm gonna okay, so I'm going to open this up and share my phone. So for those of you who have your phones, let's go ahead and open your phone. Now it's in night mode, so it's gone dark because it's nighttime over here. And let's go to our photos album. You clear your answers. So now, as I start scrolling down, here's my albums.
Okay.
And look at that. I just made these on my computer. I just made the nature photos folder. And I just made the my trips folder. I just made these two with you guys. And if I click on my trips folder, there's my Rota, my Lisbon, and my New York with Vicky. And I click on Rota, and there it is. These are all the photos of Rota. Pretty cool, right? I just did them on my computer. I'm gonna back out, and here's my nature photos. You saw me make this folder. Rocks is an album, textures, skies, close-ups an album, and then I made a folder inside called plants. And when I open that folder, I have 3 albums inside of that. If I now open my flowers that I made with you guys, here's all my flowers. Now, to Yolanda's point, I'm in the album and yet they're showing up in the phone as if they were a little video, but it's just basically showing each one of these individually. So if I click on it individually, then I would see each one individually as a photo. But if I just look at the album, then it kind of makes this little video up of these. It just goes one after the other, showing me these. Does that make sense? Was everyone able to find all their albums and all their stuff that they just made under
Okay.
albums? Another reason to not have 8,000 albums, because you'd have to scroll forever to find stuff, versus if you have your 8,000 albums divided in, say, 10 folders, then you can go into each folder within folders, and that makes more sense. One is family, one is trips, one is your hobby, sewing, knitting, quilts, pictures, paintings. And if you're a painter that uses many mediums, then you have a folder for oils, one for watercolors, one for collage, I don't know, one for your charcoal drawings. All right, give me a yes. Let me clear your answers. If you're able to go to your phone and find the albums we created. Now we're going to go and create some in our phone. But right now, I just want to know whether you were able to see the albums that created on your computer.
Yeah.
You're able to create them on your phone. Not create them, see them. The albums you just created, the folders you just created, if you're able to see them on your phone. Right, I'm only seeing 2
Yes,
yeses.
yes.
Okay, so that's a third one.
Uh,
Thomas, Bob, Carol, Bob again, the other Bob, Kate. Okay,
Deanna,
and Vera.
it worked on the computer because I guess working with the photos doesn't require being online, but I can't see it on my phone probably
Yeah.
because I don't have a connection.
Yes. So Vera right now doesn't have Wi-Fi. So what she did on her computer isn't on her phone yet. Okay. But once she gets that connection running, then her phone will represent it. Okay. So yeah, you definitely need to connect to the cloud and the cloud to the phone, and that requires Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
it's not lost. All the work you're doing, whenever you do have a connection again, will appear on your other device. Thomas, how's it going for you?
My photos are not on iCloud.
Oh, that's true. Then did you make the organization and your albums and it's fine? Remember that you had that whole, I remember that you've been doing the whole trying to transfer. Okay.
Not
But
yet.
you were, when
Not
I
yet.
know. But you have been able to create it in your computer, the albums and the folders?
Yes.
Okay. Bob Burtness, haven't heard a yes or no from you. How's it going back there? Yes. All right. Cool. And Harry is saying yes, so I'm going to clear your answers. All right. Have you had any, well, what if, in case, you know, can I try this that you have before we start doing this on the phone? Have you had any like, well, what if this happens, or what if that happens, or can I do it this way? No questions like that? Nope. Yes, Barbara?
I'm on my phone and I have two similar folders or albums, and I'd like to merge them, but I don't know how to do that.
On your phone?
Yeah,
I
because
don't know that you can on your phone. I'm about to show people how to work with albums on your phone. That's exactly what I'm about to do, but I'm not 100% sure that you can. Let me see. Yeah, let me just put this one into that one. Yep, I was able to do that. Okay, I'll show you it to you in a minute.
okay.
So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, I love questions because things that I hadn't thought of doing, and you go, oh, can I do that? No, well, let me try it. I have to admit that I don't organize too many things on my phone, but in the past I didn't. But I was I've been gone from Santa Barbara. My computer stayed home, and I've had my phone with me for 2 months. And every now and then I would want to organize things on my phone. And so I was glad to know that there's so much that can happen on your phone, even if you don't have your computer, or most of it can be done. Right. So say I'm in my library, right? And say that I now find a photo. First of all, I want to show you again the stuff that I showed you from the beginning. What if I want to do a search? So how do I do a search? There it is. That's the search feature.
Yeah.
So I'm going to select on that little guy. And now I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say again, for example, snow, just because to show you. I get the same results. Snow, snow belt, snowstorm, snowflake. Pretty cool. Let me click on that one snowflake and there it is. The same photo that I click on it that we saw before. It says snowflake, which that totally threw me for a loop. I didn't know. Okay. I go back down. So then I say, what are the things that we look for? Let me just look for flowers now. Now, the reason I look for the word flowers is because I made an album for flowers, and I wanted to show you how the choices are flower pot, flower, flowers, or flower. But it's showing me in the back the results of all of that. At the top it says my album, flowers, my chosen ones, or top results for flowers, period. Some of these are not in my album. It's got 25 results. These are not necessarily in my album. What if I want one of them to be in my album? What if I want this? I know that this one here is not in my album. I know that this one is not in my album. So let me try to add this one to my album. Let me select it. Oh yeah, I want this in my flowers album. Okay. And I can do it a couple different ways. So one of the ways would be I can go to these three little dots right there, click on that, and I can add it to an album. Okay. So see the three little dots I'm talking about? Let me give you a, right there. So now I'm going to click on those three little dots again. And then I'm going to add it to an album. So it's an existing album right now. Add to album. Which album? Well, it's inside of Natures and Photos. So I'm going to open my nature photos, and then I'm going to go to my plants, and then I'm going to put it in flowers. So that was pretty deep. It was in three folders in. Did that make sense? Now I back out, and I go back out and say done, and I go to my album, and here's my nature photos, here's my plants, and here's my flowers, and yep, they include this little one on the top that I just added. Okay, so can everyone try to add something? Once again, I selected something that I thought fit, and I made it, I chose the three little dots and I put it in an existing folder. There's another way to add the album, but I'm going to show you in a minute. Everyone on your phone, what you should be doing right now is you should be selecting a photo, clicking on the three dots, and adding it to an existing album. I'm going to show you if there's no album for it, how to make a new one, or I'm going to show you a different way to add to an album. But right now, if that worked on your phone, that you're able to put a photo in an existing album, even if you don't find the right photo, even if right now you're putting a rock into an album of family, just give it a try, and you can then delete that rock from the album of family. Then give me a yes once you've done that. All right.
I see an add to on, I right-clicked on in my library, right-clicked on a random picture, and there's a place where you can go add to, then you can choose which album.
Exactly. That's what you should be doing right now. So I'm sharing my screen right now. And my photos album again. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a different way to do the exact same thing. And you don't need to know two ways of doing it, but some of you might like it better. So I'm going to show you a different way of doing the exact same thing. I know I have a folder called buildings. So I'm going to go to one of these buildings. I'm going to go click on this building here. And I'm going to add it exactly the same thing we did before, but in a different way. I'm going to add this one to the buildings album, but I'm going to go down here, which is really the share album, right? So you might be surprised because if we were going to share it with someone, I would go there. Well, let's try that. I'm going to click on the share. And if I scroll down, one of the things I could do, and the last one I used is flowers, so it's showing up, but I could add to an album from there.
Got it.
Which album? and it pulls up my albums, and I go, I want it to be in beautiful buildings.
That's a better one.
Well, between there or there,
Hmm.
basically those are the two places. I can go there, add to album from there, or there, down here, scroll a little bit, add to album from here. Both work just fine. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
If the second system worked for you as well,
Mhm.
you can choose to have it one way or the other, but either way, they both worked. Now, here's the deal. What if I want to add many at a time? Can I do that? Because, you know, one at a time, it's a pretty slow organization. Yep, let's do that. Before selecting one, then you can only do one at a time. First, go to the word select, right next to the search. We're going to select. So watch, the word select disappears. When I click on the word select,
Mhm.
whoops, I didn't mean to go there because I want to be near my buildings because I'm going to add these to the building. It's just that I did it with my thumb. When I click on the word select, now it says cancel. If I cancel, nothing happens. Select or cancel. Now I want to select and not cancel, but I want to select. See how down here it says select items? So I'm going to select this one and this one and that 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 one. And I'm going to add all these to the beautiful buildings. You can add whatever you want. I'm just adding all of those at a time, but I've been able to just go and I can keep scrolling and say, oh, well, there's that one and there's that one. Okay. And I want to add this one, right? So you select the ones that you, what if you made a mistake? I'm going to add this one and go, oh, no, no, that's not a beautiful building. You just click on it again and it goes away. So then you select and you select. And when you're done selecting, then here's that good old area. So now I have 14 photos selected. Now I'm going to go to this little guy to share, and I'm going to scroll down, add to. Since I just used the beautiful buildings one, then it's really quick because it's basically adding into beautiful buildings. But if I wanted to go somewhere else, I would just go to add album and find it. But I can just say add to beautiful buildings because I'm in the midst of organizing those, and boom, they have been added. If I go now to my beautiful buildings, wow, got 30 photos now. I keep adding to it. Pretty cool. Now I still have this one guy that isn't a building. So if a photo landed in there that shouldn't have, then from the computer, I already showed you how to delete a photo from an album or remove a photo from an album. I'm going to go to this guy and I'm going to say, sorry, you don't really belong in this album. So I'm going to go over to these three little dots and I'm going to say remove from album. It's always either the three little dots or the share, right? You go to one or the other and you'll find it. So I'm going to remove this guy from the album because, yeah, it'll be removed from the album, but it'll remain in your photo library. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of the photo. I just want to remove them. Boom. So now when I back out, it's only buildings. Okay. Another way to add to this album, I'm in this beautiful buildings album. I can go to the plus sign right there and I can go look for other beautiful buildings. So I'm like, beautiful building, beautiful building. Oh, here's a beautiful building. I'll add this one and I'll add that one. And I'll add this one. I don't know if it's already there. I'm just clicking on different beautiful buildings. And now I have selected 4 of them. I'm going to say add. Boom. So there they are. Now I have even more buildings from the album itself. Okay. So these are all different ways to organize from in your phone. It's pretty cool, right? I was able to do quite a lot of on those good and bad days when I was feeling really, let me go back. When I was feeling really, I got, let me just, when I was feeling like I had time on my hands waiting for a bus or a train or something, one thing I was able to do is do some organization just using my phone. Let me clear all my little pink areas. There's one last thing I wanted to show you. Remember how I first made albums on the computer? I said select 3 photos and then create an album, and all those photos went in there. Well, how about the phone? Can we do that? Yes, we can. So let's say that I want to make a photo of an album of trying to see what kind of things I have here. An album of, let me just go back to the trip. Let's say that I want to make an album of flamenco singers, which I happen to have 3 here. So I'm going to go and say select first. Select. And then I select my 3 photos. These 3 guys are singing flamenco right now. And when I try to take them to an album, I'm going to go share right here to the album. I look over here and I go, oh, there's no album. Oh, how funny. This is the one time I can't go there. I have to actually go the other way. Because this one, oh yeah, no, I can. Here we go. I'll say add to an album. I'll add to an album. But that album doesn't exist. So I have a plus sign right there. So I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm going to create a new album called Flamenco Singers. And then I'm going to create that album. I go to my albums right now. There they are. Now I have Flamenco Singers album. And give it a little bit of time and it'll appear. That new album will appear. And there it is. I'm going to share with you right now because it took me, what, 3 seconds or maybe a bit more. And there it is. I'm now sharing you my computer. And there's my flamenco singer albums that I just created on my phone. And if I go to my beautiful buildings, it's got all the photos that I've been adding on my phone. Pretty cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a
All right.
break time.
Yeah. I just wanted to finish that before we move on to something else when we come back. Okay.
Okay.
So everyone good? Give me a yes if you were able to create albums
Yeah.
on your phone. Just select some photos and make an album for those photos on your phone. And if you didn't get that one, I can show you that again. Yep, there's a yes everywhere. All right. So now I need someone who's living in Santa Barbara to tell me the time for a 15-minute break in Santa Barbara will be. Be back at what time?
It's 3:20 right now.
So that's
3:35.
35. What was one thing? Another. Let me put 3:36 p.m. All right. See you guys at 3:36. All right, we're back. Oops, I got cold. Sit up and left my little blanket spot. I'm cold. All right. Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Bueno. Okay. I was just getting a message. I was trying to make sure that it wasn't urgent. All right. The question, no, the question is still the empty question. Okay, no one's been writing any questions in the chat, so I will continue. All right, any questions came up during the break? Anything that you thought of or tried to do? Yeah, Barbara.
Um, I noticed that
Hold on.
in your
Off my
library.
headsets and I can't hear you. I didn't take them off. I just was trying to talk to my mom, but I had to take them down so that I could hear. Okay, say that
I
again.
noticed that in your recently deleted photos was that peacock, and I also noticed that was in your library. So how can it be in both? Unless there were two different pictures of the peacock.
I had 2 different pictures of the peacock, but
Okay.
let's go ahead and check. But remember, you know what? Oh, I remember that I had shown you how to make duplicates. Apiflein 1 is the duplicate. So here it is in the recently deleted. Now let me actually go back to my library where somewhere towards the end I have the peacock. Here it is. So let's go and recover this one, and it's probably the duplicate I had made. So when I go back to the library, yeah, there's 2. I
Oh,
had made a
okay.
duplicate at some point when we were talking duplicates. So it's
Okay.
one of the duplicates that's in the library. So yeah, thanks. Otherwise, yeah, it's, you know, of all things. I'll put this under my stuff.
And I have another question. I'm going through my my iPhone events,
Mhm.
and which are groups of pictures and stuff. But I have like 20 empty ones.
Okay, so let me explain iPhone events, and they're not really iPhone events. The events that existed in our album, it's in there, your albums, right? Were you a user of photos when it was iPhoto?
Yeah.
Many, many years ago? Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you who used iPhoto, which is the precursor of photos, and I don't remember when it shifted, I could look it up, but it's many, many, many years ago now that they got rid of iPhotos and turned it into photos. Now, iPhotos was the one that would do all those duplicates when you updated and stuff like that. Anyway, at that point, the way that that app organized things, it organized them by dates, but it considered each date an event, which makes sense because say that today is my sister's birthday, I probably won't take pictures until I get to my sister's birthday, and then I'll take pictures on her birthday. And then later it'll be an event of whatever, September 12th. And when I open those September 12th pictures, it's photos of my sister's birthday, right? That's kind of how it was organized eons ago. Well, it turns out that what if you have 2 different events that same day? What if in the morning you were out roller skating and you took pictures of that? So you could have had 2 different events for the same day. You could have events that ended up with nothing in them because anyway, long story. The events were a mess. When the iPhotos updated to photos, all those events became albums. same albums we're talking about now. So when you go into a computer that has events, I know that an example, I know that Yolanda still has a lot of events. Usually it's a good thing to put them under one big album and then to slowly take those photos out. I can help, if you want to share your screen, I can give you an idea of what I'm talking about, because it needs to be, I don't have events, so I can't really do it on mine. Do you want to share your screen, Barbara? And I'll give an idea of how to handle
Just
that.
make sure that it's on my computer. I don't know how to share my phone.
No, yeah, you wouldn't be able to share your phone. So if it's on your computer, if you have the same, like the iCloud setup, then it'll be on both.
Okay, so um,
Okay.
so there's one that's empty, although it's named. Some of them are named, and I still.
So yeah, in the past it was possible to name them, and it's possible that you even named it here. So can you make this a little bit wider so we can see the names of your albums? Like put your mouse on this line and drag it out a little bit.
But here I don't see the events.
Hold on. Just so I can understand, can you put your mouse anywhere along this line and click and drag it to the right a little bit?
Oh,
No, to the right. Make it, I want to see the names. So you need to drag it to the right. Yes, thank you. Phew. Now it does look like you did a good job of naming everything, because if you were good at this in photos, then instead of leaving them as just the date, oh, here they are, oh, photo events. And you have two of them. So see how they're named by date, and maybe there's only one photo in that date. Maybe there's more, but it was taken in enough different time that the computer doesn't think so. It's an event. So it says there's 24 albums. Now click on this iPhoto events to see how many albums you have in there. So no. See how you have two iPhoto events here? One of them has 24 albums. How about the second one? Looks like they're identical. It's like, no, there it is. So you have, this is more typical of iPhoto events. You have 627 albums. See that? This is the typical way events showed up. Go ahead and escape, because you clicked on this twice. So like your name is changing. See how it's lit up? Click away for a second. Yeah, right there. Or hit return. You just want to not mess with that name. So because you clicked on it twice, the name is now. Are you clicking here?
no.
Yeah, click. Go ahead and click. Click your mouse.
Click where?
Anywhere, as long as it's not in there. In there, yeah, there we go. Just so that because the name had been highlighted, so it was at risk of disappearing. Okay, so you have two big folders of iPhoto events. One has 24 albums, another one has 670 something albums. Okay, so let's tackle the smallest one only because it's a little bit easier here right now. Click on the iPhoto events right there. Okay, instead of opening that way, so every one of these has one photo. See how it reads one photo? Go ahead and open this little arrow. Click on that little arrow. No, not there. Sorry, I made another pink thing, and so it looked like that. This little arrow next to the word iPhoto events, over there. See that little, yeah. Click on that one. Yeah, there we go. So click on one.
Those are all files?
Yeah, so go ahead and click on the top one. Stop at February 9. Okay. That one. Plus the next one. Just kind of click down a few. Click on the next one and the next one. See how they only have one photo each? That's that little one that I was reading, right?
Yeah.
Now, what you can do is, and the dates you can see, they're like 2010 or something like that, right? Each one in its own little album. It's crazy how it was set. So now what you can do, try to select the topmost one. See if it allows you to select 2 at a time, 3 at a time. Go ahead and hold down the shift key and select,
oh, shift.
say, 5 down. No, that's, yeah. Click on one again,
Not doing,
and then click on another one. No, it doesn't.
that
That's
was with the
problem.
shift key, it didn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It
How
doesn't
about
like
command?
to do that. No, no, it won't. It won't. The event albums can't be selected that way, unfortunately. So I was trying. So all these photos, right? If you go and select the folder, iPhoto events. Yeah. If you delete the folder, it'll delete all these albums, but it'll keep the photos. So the photos under February 9th, you'll have all of them. Does that make
Where
sense?
will they be? Well, they won't be in a folder then.
Under February 9th, 2010.
Okay, so, all
So
right.
select that iPhoto events, right click. And now delete the folder at the very bottom. Okay, say delete. Now go by date, scroll to, go to the library, go up to the top, go to library and scroll to 2010, February 9th.
Okay,
So you got everything selected. Click away, click so that nothing is selected. You don't want to lose anything. Just click on any empty space. Whenever I say click away, I mean any empty space will stop any other deletion. Yep. So you're 2025. So maybe you should go to years because it'll take a long time to get to 2010. So go to years. And now scroll down to 2010. Okay. Now click on 2010. Double click. And now go to February. So now scroll down. You're in July, August. Keep going the other direction. Up, up, up. Nope. You're going to go to February. So up, up, up to February. Up. Keep going up. Keep going up. Here we're in February. And here's February 9th. Click on February 9th. Double click February 9th now. And here's all those photos that were all over the place. So now if you want to, you can select them.
other ones too, but
Yeah, and there's more. But now you can keep going up. Okay. Now select this day, say select February 9th. To select it, double click on this cat. Double click on it. Now go out here to the left, back out. No, 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 no. You left the. I want to leave the years. I want you to go into all photos or try all photos. Click on all photos. I have so many circles. Okay, you have this photo selected. Now go to all photos here, 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 here.
here, where's here? Okay, all photos.
Okay, so now these are those 24 photos. You're in February 9th, 2010, and these are those 24 photos. Like you can scroll up or down. Well, now up. You're going away from February 9th, so
No, I was just seeing where the rest of them were.
they're up. Yeah, so there you go. So they started here. This was your first one. And if you scroll all the way down, your last one, there's 24. So click on that. Now select this one. Now scroll down until we get to the last one, which is this one. Hold down the shift key and now select this one. And that's 24 photos, in fact, 25. And now you can make an album that's called whatever these paintings are. Here, make an album.
I already have an album of Yoni's prints. This was an album of, but I think there's some different ones in here. So,
okay, so then if you don't want that, I was just trying to show you how to make an album of the stuff that used to be in albums, but you're welcome to drag them in one by one or whatever.
so if I add, oh, so there's some new things in this. So I add those 20 some pictures.
If you add those to here, only the new ones will get added. The other ones are the same ones that were there already.
Okay, great. So how do I do that now?
Well, now you
There's-
left it, so you have to go back. You're in your album. So try if you go back to this arrow, see if it takes you to the original place that we found them. Click one more time. No, so you're gonna have to go again to the time. So go back to the library. You lost that space that we had found. So go back to library, and there they are. So now add
Oh.
these. Okay, so now scroll down here. Don't move these. Scroll down until you find Yoni's prints. There we go. And now drag these there. And any that are new will be at, oh,
Oh, the film.
that's a
couldn't be up.
movie that couldn't cover it. Okay, so just say, okay, one of them won't work. It's such an
Okay.
old video, okay? And now when you go to Yoni's prints, you'll have whatever ones were new. Okay, so go to the album now.
Oh, it took
Here.
everything else from that day.
Yes, well, these will stay. Those will never change. And now here we have 32 photos. So this is the video that probably wasn't working. So now if there's any of those that weren't there, now you've added them all.
Oh, there's the video.
Yeah, so try it. I don't know if it'll work. Double click. It might just not play. Yeah, over there it's got a little, go ahead and press play, see if it plays. Oh, it is working. Okay, well, there you go, for what it's worth. It was working, so that's good news.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right.
So
Thank
now,
you.
that was easy with just 24 photos, right? It's a little bit
Mhm.
harder when you have 627 events because so go back to the next one that you have here. And I know that quite a few that yours, yeah. So now this one is different because this one has 14 pictures, 6 pictures, 72 pictures, 39 pictures, right? And 22
Mhm.
pictures. And this one you have organized much better. So now the way I recommend it is to that if this is a folder that you like, right? Mom's Lady Run, just drag it out and put it in your albums. Or if you have a folder called Mom or something like that, because I see, for example, down here, something says Mother. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Uh-huh.
Maybe make a folder called Mom, right? And then put all the photos that have Mom in there. I don't know. It seems to me that 627 albums, if you take them out of my photo events, can you click here so that this disappears so we can read? Yeah, thank you. If you did the same thing that we did before, you're going to have all of these will lose their organization. The other ones didn't have organization, but these do. So the ones that have an organization that makes sense to you, you can just drag it out and it becomes Mom's 88 album. Oh, that's fine. It's an album after all right now, so that's it, and it's already named. But if you have a lot of these, that might be meaningless, or I don't know what frame means, or this has
I
just
don't
a
either.
date. So now you have to start looking at them, and I recommend looking at them by opening this arrow, right? Over here on the left side, open this little arrow there.
Okay.
And then start clicking on each one. Click on that one. Start with the top. Click on miscellaneous pictures. And you basically have 14 photos here. Look at them, and if they make sense to put them under an existing album, go for it. If not, create an album for them. Or
Okay.
leave them under miscellaneous pictures and so on and so forth. Because you do have a lot of, now something like old camera could be family and trips and it could be anything. So you might want to
Yeah.
start assigning them places. Same with just a date. It might just be an event date, or it might be something in particular. Now something that already says Camping Montana, you can probably just drag out and put it in a folder of trips, So that's because you were pretty organized in 2004 and you gave them names. People who gave them no names ended up like your other album that just said event. But the one now here it says January 5 to April 5. This is a more typical way of how all of these events got set up, that they're very, so it's up to you to slowly organize them. And when you're done,
Okay.
take them out of iPhoto events, give them their rightful name or organize them the way you want, and then just get rid of the old albums so that from 627, you'll go down to 600,
Just
then
delete
500,
the
then
iPhone.
400.
Yeah. So I delete the iPhone events itself.
I mean,
Or-
if this is one that's good, like if Mother's 88 is complete and correct, just drag it out, put it into my albums, and it just lives as Mother's 88 album. This is an album. You can do
Oh.
that. You can just put it under my albums. You basically take it out. You have to grab it and put it. No, you didn't. Hold on. If we're talking about Mother's 88,
Mhm.
okay, grab it from the little icon of the album.
That's what I have.
No, it's not been grabbed. Go grab it again. Oh, okay, and then let it go. Okay, grab it. Okay, and then drag it and drop it inside of my albums and put, yeah, and let go. There you go.
Okay.
So now it's there. So now here you have 626, right? And you keep going. But yeah,
All
you'll
right,
go
I'll be
crazy
here
if
a
you
while.
lose that many. It'll take a while when you have like photos from forever. But you at least had them organized. A lot of people just have them saying iPhone event. You have to look at them and go, what's this event? Oh, that was my mom's 88. Fortunately, at that point, you already labeled it in 2004. So you know it's mom's 88, right? So anyway. Anyone else who has some kind of futzy little, what do I do with this? What do I do with that going on? That wants to ask me for help? You're all a very quiet bunch today. Sometimes I get a lot of talk. Today it's like Barbara.
I do have another question.
Yeah.
Like some of those old photos, I would like to put the names of the people on so that they'll show up under that person, but there's no little circle for them or anything. Is there a way to
Go
do
ahead and
that?
share your screen again and I'll show you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also going to show you a different way of organizing other than albums. It's called keywords. But right now you have so many albums, you got to just condense your albums. But yeah. Okay, so open one of these albums and let's find the people. So go to, I don't know, miscellaneous family pictures, one of those that had a lot of people, or your Mother's 88. Okay, so when you're saying there's no circles for them, everyone
Yeah.
pay attention. There never is in this small version. In order to get the circles, you need to have the bigger version open. So go ahead and hit the space bar. All right, now go, you don't have the info window open. So go open the info window, which is this one. Okay, up
It's
there.
where?
The I for info. Over
Oh,
here, way
sorry.
over there.
Oh,
Okay, now drag it over a little bit so we can have it a bit closer to see it. Okay, so it is recognizing a face. Okay, click on that face. And looks like you already did name this guy. Is that the right name?
yes.
Okay, so there you go.
Okay, so that
was
one,
there. So now hit the space bar down and look for another one.
all right. So how do I get rid of that?
Well, you'll get
Um,
you need to move it out of the way. It'll be there until you click on something else. Looks like you do have those two are named.
Okay. Wow. All right.
It's just that if you don't see the circle, it's probably because you haven't turned on the metadata to see the circle. So did you go up to the metadata window, go to view, metadata?
Wait, I don't know. I
You
don't
went
know
to
what it's
people
doing
right
now.
now.
Just a second.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here. So until that's, it's like, it's in like add name or something. I don't know how you ended up here because I was showing you something else. So I got distracted. I mean, I was showing you something else. Go ahead and go to this arrow, back out. Okay. So these are the people that you have named already. Okay.
Yes.
So if you find people that are not these people, or if you find a photo of this person, but it doesn't say Mary Heather, then you can correct it, right?
Right.
So that's when you add your own. But at least the 2 photos you found were labeled, and you said they were correctly labeled, so that's good. I'm going to find a few more. I want to show you how to label something that doesn't go. Scroll all the way down to see if there's any that don't have name. Nope, looks like you've named them all. So now your challenge would be to go find people maybe at your mother's 88 that aren't here, and then we can add a name to them.
Okay,
There's
this
only 6
person is,
photos, so I guess. Is that person not in your named photos right now?
no, I don't think she is.
All right, so go ahead and hit the space bar, get your info window, which is Command I, or click on the I.
Oh,
And now click on that face, and now it says, no, you double click, that's the
Oops.
problem. Okay. Back out again. Now we know what you did at least. Okay, go back to your mother's 88. Hit the space bar. Yeah, and info window. I don't know why it all keeps disappearing. Click on the info window. Okay, so now simply click on this face, not double click, because a name appeared here. It said unnamed before. Go ahead and click on that one. This one, I don't know why it's not showing up right now. It did before. Put your mouse
that's Jane.
there. Okay, so now go over here and click in there and name her. And if she exists in your contacts, then go ahead and choose her.
Okay.
There we go. Now that person will appear in your people. Okay.
Okay.
Now say that this person was someone you knew. It's so tiny, it's not worth it. But say that this was someone you knew and didn't get a circle. You
Mhm.
can add a circle to it. But it wouldn't be good, because if you add a circle to this, because you might know that this is little Mary or whatever, then the computer's going to look for someone who looks like that to call him little Mary. And that's not enough of a face for the computer to learn. So you better not do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm saying little Mary is it. But anyway, so there you go. If you want to look for
Okay.
any other to see if there's anything else, another name, but that's how you add names that are not. Click on, yeah. So see if there's any of these or people that you know you didn't name. And so, okay, looks like there's 4 faces it recognizes. Click on each one of these faces. Here, click on each one of these faces.
Okay.
And
That's not, I don't even know Bob Burton is.
okay. So then click on, yeah, so see how when you hovered over this circle, it's like when you hovered over these guys, a circle appealed over their names, but you need to look at both at the same time. Hover over this face, hover over this guy,
Oh,
because
over the face.
no, here,
Over here? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
now
right.
the unnamed appears, okay? So the computer, this is artificial intelligence, it recognizes foreheads. So you hover over the, or click or hover, whatever, and then the circle appears around the one that it's considering it needs to be named. So then you
So
go,
what, do I click the plus, or how do I get
no, you had
her
done,
name?
go ahead and click. I don't know right now what you had done before that it appeared. There, you clicked. So
Oh,
now it's unnamed.
Jamie, no, that's not her.
Okay, so then just, that means you don't have this Jamie in your contacts. So just keep writing. Say that's enough. And if that's all you want, then hit return or put the whole name. This means she's not on your phone book and so on. There you go. Now you're calling this person someone. There it is. And you might need to move this one a little bit out of the way. Just drag it out from here. Click and drag. So now you get to her name.
Yeah.
That one has been named Cole. And if the kid you don't know, you don't know. It's fine. You just don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, I can't remember his name. That doesn't matter. I wouldn't be looking for pictures of him anyway.
Cool.
All
There you
right.
go.
Thank you.
Would Was that hopefully helpful to other people? The people section is the one that seems a bit more confusing. So whenever people have questions about that, I appreciate answering a few more of those. Now, let me share my screen now. Now we all need to make some albums. Go to the, for those of you who are on your phone, you can do it on your phone. For those of you on your computer, do it on your computer, wherever you prefer. I have a request. I need you to make a folder called To Be Edited. Not a folder, sorry, an album. So just go ahead to the albums, click on the plus sign, make an empty album, and let's call it To Be Edited. I'm going to call this one To Edit only because I already have a To Be Edited one, or Must Edit, or whatever.
I'm sorry, it was under what? It was under.
So you're going to go to the albums and you're going to make an empty album because you don't have any album yet. You don't have any photos to put into it. Just call it To Edit, or for editing purposes, or To Be Edited, just something about editing it. So everyone make an album of photos to be edited. If you've taken this class before, you might already have one somewhere. And what I want you to do is to run through your library photos. And if you see a photo that needs to be straightened or darkened or lightened, or you want to take something out of it, maybe you want to get rid of these legs, just grab it and put it in to edit. Maybe this one has to be straightened. Maybe this one has to be whatever. Just maybe I want the photo of this, but I don't want the plants. So I want to see if I can get rid of the plants. Okay, so then put it into edit. I don't know, just invent. What can you do to an image and see if it's doable? So this image here, maybe I want to get rid of that little bit there because it bugs me, whatever. Okay. Also, it's a little bit crooked. See how this thing is falling over a little bit. Okay, put it into edit. Maybe his photo is too dark and you want to lighten it. Okay, put it into edit. Maybe a photo is too light and you want to darken it. Okay, put it into edit. Okay, so I need you guys to create a photo. So this is for next week. Okay, so this is homework. Next week, we're going to go in deeply into editing our photos. By editing, I mean lightening, darkening, changing colors, getting rid of zits, adding, getting rid of light posts where you don't want them, etc., etc., etc. That's what we mean by editing them. There's a lot of stuff that the artificial intelligence can do right now. So we'll see what's possible, what's not possible. I want you guys to collect enough photos that when I say, okay, everyone, open a photo that's too dark, you'll open a photo that's too dark. Open a photo that you want to get rid of something. Open a photo that get rid of something. And then we'll begin to work because everyone will have their own photos. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Diana,
So, yes.
while you're talking about making album, I have been sick for a while, and so I had not touched these photos, and now today, when I went to the photo album, the picture with the one with these pictures,
Yeah.
I noticed that there were many albums there that seems to be automatedly uh, uh, organized. Like, I have here live photos in Wood Glen, and then there were 7 in there, Old Mission. In other words, there were pictures that I don't remember organizing, and yet it's very organized.
Well, you did a lot of work, and you've been taking this class repeatedly, and you've been organizing a lot of your stuff. So you might not remember that you organized it, but I assure you, you've been doing a lot of organization. So I think that maybe you just
So
forgot that you did it.
Wow, wow. It is very, and so I'm not thinking of redoing it because it seems to me like somebody automatically did it for me. Like, I even had a cemetery in there and things like that. I mean,
Mm.
I was
Uh,
amazed.
No, there is no automatic or creating of albums. If you did them, Yolanda, congratulations to yourself. You've been working hard on your photos for a long time. You must have done them at a time when you don't remember right now that you did them. But trust me, there's no like automatic making of albums. The only thing automatic is what I showed you before. But if you have a folder named something and had photos in it that make sense to you, that was created by you.
I can
Okay.
tell you I did not do it because there was no way I could have done it because I had been sick. You know, I have been mentally and physically not functional.
Good.
And here it yet my family hacienda or old mission things. It was like organized, like somebody organized it. There's even in a cemetery with 114
Share
pictures.
your screen in case these are memories or things like that, that like maybe they are memories, things that Apple does for you. If they are albums, you
Forgot
or someone in your family did. Go ahead and share your screen. They might be featured albums or something else. Computer does make those for you.
Okay.
So go to the share button.
The share
The green.
button.
Mhm.
Can you see it over there at your end?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
I can see that.
says there were
Yeah.
45 albums and 10
Yeah.
18 folders, and I really don't remember organizing them or doing it that way.
Yeah, I have seen these again and again. You have been doing this over the last few years. You know that one of the things that happened is you seem to have forgotten stuff. You always mention that. I assure you that these are things that you have been making over time. 100%. I have seen these repeatedly every time we talk. You might not remember, Yolanda, but you have done this. We've worked so much on these. We've worked on these. We've worked on a bunch of these things, your travels. This is stuff that we have worked on together over the years. There's no one else that could do this for you. Let me ask you one thing. Can you grab from this corner and just this thing and just drag it out to make this window a little bit bigger? Because I'd like to see your sidebar. It's a little bit easier. So make it.
You want me to
Yes.
enlarge
Make
this?
it wider. Yeah, but you need to click on it first. There we go. There we go. Stop, stop, stop. That's enough. That's enough. I just wanted to see this stuff. Okay. So you have, God, I remember making these Egypt. We've made these together in these classes. And here's your to be edited that you've had in the past. I know that might be good news or bad news for you, but you have done this yourself. I assure you.
Wow.
Click on one of these and see the photos that you put in there. So if you're thinking that hacienda, you don't think you did, go ahead and click on that hacienda there and see the photos that are in there. See if they're correct.
Hacienda, this one in here?
Yeah. Double click. And there you go. Those are the 3 photos that you put in there at some point. And these are really old files. You had a lot of those iPhoto events that Barbara just had that you've been slowly labeling. You've been doing this work. You've been working on this for many years. It's all you. It's all your work, I assure you. So that you don't feel like invaded or Apple isn't doing this for you. Apple has no idea. See, you guys, there's no way Apple might be able to discover that if you write the word fence. It might be able to discover if you put in the location the photo was taken in. But Apple wouldn't know that this is Hacienda Escudero. That's the name of this place. It would never know that. This is you. Okay. I know you're wanting to not trust me because your memory is telling you something different. But if you want to hear it from me, you have taken this class from me many times. And we have many times organized your photos, and I know that you have huge amounts of albums and photos, and that you've been slowly turning them into things that make sense. Like if you go into any of these, you'll see that there's folders within folders. These are folders. If you click inside of Italy, you'll see that there's more albums in there. This is you. This is you, Yolanda.
I remember that
Good
too.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Molly remembers that.
I was with, it's been so many years. What's it, 17 years we've been with you?
I don't know about that many years, but you've been working hard on this.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Yolanda,
we've been together. Yes.
Just so you relax as far as feeling invaded, it's not. No one did this. No one took your photos and did stuff. This is you. in the past you've done this, and now you slowly need to become reacquainted to all the work that you've already done on your photos and keep moving forward. Okay? Just
Yeah.
trust me on that one. Trust me and Molly on that one.
Hmm.
I know. You sound like my mom. Whenever I tell her something she doesn't want to believe, she goes, such a great noise. Okay, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm not going to say you're right. I'm just going to hold on to that thought. That's good. Hold on to the thought and trust me. That stuff you did, I can almost name, I can like rattle off
Yes.
some of these folders that you've worked on before. I can go find iLife folders from videos from like, 3 or 4 years ago, and I can open this and I will see those folders. Trust me.
Yeah.
I remember if you
It
don't.
was so
Okay.
organized, and it was grouped under collections, and I don't remember doing those
The
things.
word collections is new. The word collections is new. That is true. If your memory is not failing you there, the word collections is new. It used to be just called albums or something like that. It wasn't called, the word collections is new. Stop being Bob. There's a sound happening back there. Okay. So yay for you that you did so much work and that now you just have to do some, but not everything to keep organizing. All right.
Thank
So don't go and question that anymore. Just keep moving forward. What's there is there. If you want to keep, fixing it or something or changing it, but just keep moving forward with the new photos. What's there is truly your work. I assure you, it's truly your work. You've been a hard worker on your photos. It's all your work, and you're on your files too. Your files are all really well organized. Also stuff you've done over the last bunch of years. Okay. A few of the students who are here have been with me for, as you can hear, a long time. And they'll come and they'll go and they'll take a class or another. Things change and they'll come back. And yeah, I can see your progress. Okay. Cool. So, how many of you created your edited album and your to be edited, I'm sorry, album?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Give me a yes. And I am,
I can get to it.
okay, cool. So now as we keep playing around with all our photos, I want you guys, whenever you see something that you go, oh, I wonder if I can throw it in the to be edited album. Then next week, or whenever we start editing, we might even start a bit sooner. You'll have food, you'll have material to work on. Okay. Those of you who already had one, just like Yolanda already had one, just keep adding photos that you see that you would wish you could do something to into that album. All right. So one more kind of album that we can make that I haven't yet shown. So when you go to albums, by the way, when you click on albums, you see the covers of those albums, so to say, and it tells you what folders you have in those albums, and that's the stuff that you. So this one has 4 albums and a folder. The rest are just photos, if they're just albums, or they have things like. But I could be clicking on the word albums like that and seeing it like that. I kind of prefer to click on this little arrow and open it up that way, but that's a preference. And then when I click on flamenco singers, I see the flamenco singers. I click on beautiful buildings. But then if it's a folder and I have to open it up, then I see all my trips there, and then I go like that and I see them. Because if these are closed and I'm just seeing them like this, and I want to go see my trips, I have to then, it's fine, but I have to double click to see my trips. Then I'm only in my trips. Then I have to double click to see Rota, right? But I kind of like the general, so it works just as well. But I like to kind of have the gander of the whole thing over here on the left side, instead of having to see that there. Now, here's the good news. Inside of an album, I can modify these no matter that they were taken before or after. I can say, well, I want this guy to be behind that guy. Let me go to a bigger one, my beautiful buildings. What if I want this one to show up before that one? Or I want this one to show up right next to that one. yeah, you guys, you can do whatever you want. If these are interior textures of this house, and here I have a ceiling. Well, this is the outside part of it. I'll put it outside, or this is a different building. It'll go somewhere else. So maybe I just want to have all of these four to go first, and I'll put them there. And then I have another one of those, and I'll put it there, right? So inside of your album, you're the queen, you're the king. You can choose whatever you want to do. Now, this is a house, a door. Doors don't seem to match, so I can just right click and remove this one from the album because I put it in there and it wasn't really the right place for albums, for doors. So you can move things around to your heart's content, okay? Reorganize them till they make sense to you. So if you've been able to get into your albums, reorganize things. Now, why would you reorganize things? Well, one of the reasons is you just want to see them in a certain order. Another reason is because once you reorganize them in the way you like, you could just click this little icon right there, not icon, but this little thing right there, and you can play a slideshow, which is what the phone does automatically. But you can click on this play slideshow, and now it's showing you with music, it's showing you the photos that you just organized. Okay?
Nice.
So I'm going to leave so that I don't show you my whole album, but it's showing it in the order that I just put them in. And maybe you're trying to say something about these buildings and then something about this one has actually should go behind that. It's a different kind of building. So now I have those four, and then and then this is the cemetery, whatever. So now I have these three together, right? This one, and this one, which are the same type of thing. And then I can tell you about my trip, and I can tell you what these things are for, right? And then what that is, and what that is. And then I can just, oh, this is really different. These go somewhere else. Okay. Let me grab these and drag them all the way down to the bottom. Oops, I dragged them to the top. Let me drag them all the way down to the bottom. Down there. I hate when drag doesn't work. Put them down there. Maybe I'll put them down here because that's from like another part of the trip or a different area, right? So yeah, go ahead and play the slideshow. Now, the name of the slideshow is the name of your album. Those of you who've tried it, I'm going to play an album of just a small little slideshow and discover that when you don't have enough stuff, it can't make a slideshow because it'll go 1, 2, block, and it'll be done, right? So the choice is grayed out. If I go to be edited, yeah, I definitely have enough tough stuff to play a slideshow on that one. If I go over here, I have enough stuff. So usually it just needs more than a few. You see my rocks, there's a slideshow. I don't know how much is the minimum it needs, but let me see close-ups. I have 4, not enough. How about 9 is enough, right? Textures, 12 is enough. I think I only have a couple, no. 11, so it seems 5 photos is enough. It needs to be more than 4. As soon as I have 5, that's enough to play a slideshow. Okay. And now, what kind of slideshow it plays, it will choose, you can choose down here. Now it's only 5, so I immediately have to replay it. But down here, I can choose the music. So when I say down here, you'll see down here, if my mouse is hovering over this, that I have, go back to the beginning, shrink, choose the music, right? Choose a different music, or put a filter on it. Maybe I want these all to be black and white, or I want to make them all very contrasty or something. I don't know. I don't believe in this because why would I want all my photos to change color at the same time? But anyway, if you like that, you can do that. And if I just want to see my photos again, and I keep replaying because I only have 4, then I go over to this last area and click on that, and I get to see the photos again. So maybe I have another mushroom I want to add to this or take away. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the slideshow. Now I had a bunch of buildings here. If I say play slideshow, then see how this little arrow is going across, and it looks like I have quite a while before it's done. And then when I go over here, these are all the photos that are in it, and I go, you know what, maybe I want to add one more, or I want to take one away. Now, what if I want to make it into a real slideshow? We're going to talk about that later, because I can make it into a real slideshow where I can add text and photos and maybe a video and all that kind of stuff. So we can do that. We're going to do that on the last day when we create videos and music, we're going to add a slideshow. But this is like that temporary slideshow. Let me show you the same thing on my phone. So let me share my phone now. So on the phone, it's kind of automatic. If I go to an album, and I'm going to go to the album Beautiful Buildings, that's what's playing up here. The little slideshow is playing already. See that? Of these photos. But notice, if you look at the order, it's jumping around. It's not necessarily in the order that I showed him, and it jumped from that photo down. This was the next photo. So it's just randomly choosing the photos, right? I could go over here to the three little dots. Nope, not in that one. Let me see if I go to select. Cancel. I thought there was a way to organize it. Let me see. Here we go. Over here, I'm showing the photos and the little movie, but instead down here, I'll just go to the movie. And now, like if you meet someone and says, oh, how did your trip go here? And you have like 30 selected photos. And now these movie, they are going in the order that I organized them. So let me show you one more time. These are random photos. Pay attention. See how the second one that's coming up is that colorful one? Versus if I click on, if I start again over here, if you look at my photos, I have these three. If I click on movie, the movie is taken into account the organization that I set up. Does that make sense? It's just a tiny little detail. But then you can share your photos with friends with the order that you chose. Okay? If that worked for you, let me clear your answers. Give me a yes. So that's how you would use any album. Now, how about this one that had 3 people?
What's
Would
it?
it let me do a movie of 3? Yeah, I guess it just shows the 3. I guess 1, 2, 3. So here you can, no, I was thinking, it's like, oh, give me more photos. So I guess it still doesn't like to make a movie out of just 3 photos, but it can. So what's your question, Molly?
Oh, the difference between the slideshow and the movie.
No, in a phone, on a computer, right? The photos just sit there and you just make a slideshow out of it.
Right.
In the phone, the slideshow is called a movie.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they don't, because they just have different terms. But if I go here, instead of calling it a slideshow, they call it a movie. But in the end,
Okay.
it wasn't really a slideshow either, right? I mean, it's photos that go by. So it's really a slideshow, even though it's called a movie. It's photos that go by with a bit of music. So I guess it's a slideshow, really, even though they called it a movie. Yeah. So
Thank you.
it's the same thing, but with a different name. Now you have much more control, and you can make a real slideshow with text and music and video and all that. I'm gonna be showing you that last day. But right now we're just talking what the computer makes with the albums, which is one of the advantages of putting things into albums of your own, because now you can choose to make, now I'm showing my computer again. Now you can put the photos in the order you want and whatever you want, and then you can invite some people over. And you know that if say you have Apple TV or something like that, you can connect your computer to your TV. I was thinking of a friend of mine who has a huge TV in the middle of her living room, and she had a Christmas party, and she just had, she shared an album, and it was playing in the background without sound. You just saw photos, Christmas photos of her family and stuff in the background, kind of sliding through all the time. And she had just done one of these things. And that was enough, right? Because you didn't need to sit and read and lines and stuff. It was just photos that kept playing around. All right. One last type. So now I'm going to close some of these folders a little bit to make it a little bit smaller. And one last type of thing that we have here under albums, and I'm on my computer again. Okay, guys, so look at my computer. So under albums, when you press on this plus sign, one thing that I haven't talked about yet is the smart album. I've talked about albums and about folders. I'm going to talk about the smart album. So everyone click on the plus sign and say smart album. Now there's one disadvantage to these smart albums that I'm about to show you, and that's that these do not show up on your phone. Smart albums, you cannot. Then anything you do here will only be on your computer, not on your phone, okay? Pretty clear on that one? Let me clean up your answers. I want to be sure that you're aware. So what would a smart album be? In a way, it's kind of like a search term. So let's just call this one test for now, right? Test smart album or something like that, just so we know, or mine or first or something like that, first, whatever. We'll change its name later. Let's call it first smart album. So basically you need to set up some conditions, and if the photo responds to that condition, then it'll become part of the of the album. So the one that's automatically there says photo is favorite makes no sense. Why would I want to make an album of photo is favorite when I already have it there, right? There's already a place to click on favorite and have that photo appear. How about instead if I say photo is edited, for example? You've already edited a photo. You're going to have all your edited photos there. What about photo is, it's kind of hard because a lot of these are already there. These are the photos. These are the media types, right? Let me cancel for a second. Cancel. That's what these are. I mean, it even has the same icon as albums. These are albums that Apple made, right? This is an album that Apple made with videos, with selfies, with live photos, with panoramas. See how the look of this icon is exactly that look of albums? So it's kind of funny because when you go and create a smart album and you try to say photo is, it goes, well, photo is a selfie, a video, a live portrait. It's basically exactly what you already have. So why would you do these? The only ones that you can make here that they don't have automatically is, like, for example, photo is an edit is hidden, or it's a ProRes. That's basically raw, but for film, for HDR. So let me say photo is HDR, for example. Now, I seem to have 831 items that match the photo is HDR. So over here, it'll tell me what I have. If I say photo is raw, looks like I have 155 items that match. Does anyone else have raw photos, for example?
What does that mean again?
You need to have taken them in a setting that won't compress the photo, so you have all the quality of that photo. ProRes is equivalent, but it's video raw.
13.
And as you can see, I have 0 items that match. I don't have any photo that is ProRes. If you go to photo is raw and you have 0, then that means you don't have any raw photos. If you go to photo is edited, I have 138 photos that match that. It means I've already done something to that photo to make it be lighter or darker or cropped it or did something. That's one choice. That's just one thing you can do. What if instead of any of these, what if we go, well, instead of photo, maybe the camera. Which camera did I take this with? Okay, so camera model is, and I click over here and it looks like I have photos taken by every one of these cameras. If it's here, it's because I've taken them. When you go to camera model, you might discover that you only have 2 cameras that you've ever you photographed your things in. You'll probably have the different versions of iPhones that you've purchased. But I have a lot of cameras that have taken these photos. So maybe I want to see all the photos that I've taken with my 5D Mark II, 6 items match. So let's finish this one and say, okay, let me say, okay. And here's an album. And this album is showing me photos that in the metadata, you can tell were taken by a camera called, let me take here in the metadata. If you look at these photos individually, it'll show you that they were taken by a Canon EOS 5D Mark III. Canon EOS 5D Mark II, Canon EOS Mark III. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It would have been hard for me to go in here into library and search for those photos, but I remember I took them. So I didn't put those photos in there. They put themselves in there because they respond to the condition of my smart album. Does that make sense? So I can't grab this photo and drag it in there because this wasn't taken with that camera. So it just won't go in there. Does that make sense? You guys chose something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To make your first album?
Yeah.
Now let's edit it, make a different album. Let's right click and say edit smart album. And now let's see what we can do. And what I like to do this with is, for example, and for photographers, this is great. You want to see your lens, your shutter speeds, your always. For people who are photographers, this is great. You can really see how all your zoomed in camera photos or all your, But so say that what I meant by zoomed in. So if I go focal length is greater than or equal to, and I have all the different lenses that I could have taken here. So I could have, so basically this is going to be a wide angle or a long lens. So if I say okay to that, then looks like that's the only one I have taken with that, right? I'm going to edit. How about that one? 1,000 items match this description versus 679 are that description and 67 are that, so that lens, and 45, so see which 16 items were taken with that lens, right? So these are them. Anyway, let me edit and give you a completely different example because you might not care about focal length or camera model. I think one of the good ones is date captured. But let me explain why. Because date captured is the same as what we have in the library. Like they're already by date. But what you can do is say, well, I want to find out photos that were taken on the holidays, on the Christmas holidays. So let's call this one Christmas, for example. Christmas holiday, the whole thing, not just the Christmas day, right? So say that I want to see them all together, not scroll down 1 year, scroll down another year, scroll down a year, but I want to see in general. So say the date captured is in the range of, and I'm going to say maybe December 15th. So I'm going to say December 15th to December, so maybe not December, but maybe to January 10th. That's kind of when we might have holidays, my family, that can kind of capture it. And then I can say, maybe I want to start by doing this from 2020 And then I'll find that 2020. So it says 0 items matched. And of course, I have a very small sample photos here. So I guess I didn't put any Christmas photos of 2020. So let me see if I have any Christmas photos 2021. And again, 0 items matched. So since this, I probably don't put Christmas photos in here. Let me see if I can change this instead of to December to July. I tend to have more summer photos. So I have 8 items between July 15th and let's say August 15th, right? Or let's say July 1st to August 1st. So I have 14 items. Okay, but that's 2021. Now I'm going to add. So the date captured is in the range of 7/1/2022 to 8/1/2022. Oops, looks like I didn't put any vacation photos for 2022. So let me type 2020 to 2020. And I guess nothing. Let me type 2023, 2023. You guys probably would have this more than me because I don't have that many. I guess that those dates aren't good for the photos that I've brought into this sample. I would have thought, let me try 2019, 2019. Ah, I guess I didn't put many vacation photos in here, did I? Okay, let me go over 2025 because I know that I put 2025. July, August, no, that's right now. Okay, let me go over May through July, I don't know. Oh, I know what's happening. Oh, I'm making the worst mistake. That was so silly. I'm making the biggest mistake. The one that I was about to show you, but I was making it myself. Ugh.
2025.
No, it has to match all of the conditions, which is crazy. I'm skipping through to this. You can't be taken on the July 1st, 2021 and on July 2022. The photo will never be able to do that. It has to be any of the following conditions. There we go. I was like missing the most important thing. So now I have my summer photos of 2021 and my summer photos of 2022 and plus again, date captured is in the range of 7/1/2023 to 8/1/2023. So now I'm 32 items. So basically I went from 16 to 24 to 32 because it's capturing my summer vacations. Does that make sense? It could have been my Christmas holidays or my birthday. Maybe I want all the photos of just my birthday, so it's not even in the range, it's one day. What happened over the years on my birthday? What photos do I have? So now I can keep adding to this, date captured is in the range of 7/1/2024 and 8/1. I mean, it takes a while to set it up if you're doing one of these, but there we go. Now I'm at 37 items. So now I'm going to find and say, okay. And here's my, I called it Christmas holidays, but let me rename that smart album because now it's actually summer holidays, for example. And now I can see that I have a lot of photos during that time. It's not a very good subsample because I don't normally put lots of holiday photos in here, but there you go. So if I check, this was probably from 2021, this from 2022, from 2024, from 2025. I was trying to do it with Christmas, but I don't really put many Christmas photos in here, so it didn't match too well. But does that make sense? at least what I did. Does it make sense? And are you finding a better, when I do this on my computer with all my real photos, I love that because I can scroll through the photos of all the Christmases with my kids, right? All together. And that's not something that you can have on a map in my case, because each Christmas we might be at one family's house or another family's house, or so if I look for dates, I'll have to go to one date, another date, another date. But if I do it with this, then it's collecting all my Christmases from all the years as they've been growing. Somebody give me some ideas of albums that
It's-
you put
It's
together.
time to say goodnight.
Is it? Wow. 47, you're right. But why does my alarm, which is fine, but my alarm, no, it's not. It goes to 4:55.
Good
Class
night.
ends at 4:55. So we have a few more minutes. If it's time for you to say good night, good night. But I'm like, oh, did the class leave? Okay. So I was like, why did I go about? We have a couple more minutes. But anyway, did anyone make any smart albums? Any questions? This is it for organizing. We're going to go to editing next week. I have some keywords that I'm going to be working with, telling you about next week. But I want you guys to do homework. I want you guys to organize, make folders, make subfolders, and then have questions about things that did or didn't work. And then maybe try out a smart album, see if it helps you find things that you can't find any other way, like this. Okay. Yes, Bob.
Yeah, I sort of missed why you chose Christmas photos, but you put them in the summer.
Because
it
when
says
I went,
summer.
since I have such a limited library, I just discovered that I haven't really posted in this library that I bring to class. I don't have any Christmas photos. So when I went to search for Christmas photos, I didn't find any in those
Oh,
dates.
okay.
That's just because this isn't a real album. And most of the photos that I post in here are more like things that I do when I travel, and I usually travel during the summer. So it was
Okay.
an easier sample. My personal album, I do have a lot of Christmas photos, and I have done that exact example. And then I can grab them all, select them all, and make an actual album and call them Christmas, and then just drag them in there. And then I can get rid of the smart album, because the smart album doesn't show on my album on my phone anyway. So once I do that, I can gather all the Christmas photos for all time and make a folder called Christmas of all time and make a fixed album. And then I can see that on my phone. So it's just a way to find things that you wouldn't find any other way. It's really like a search feature, the smart album, right? You have it find stuff that there's no other way to find. I couldn't say on the search feature, I couldn't say Christmas from all the years. And, I mean, maybe now that the intelligence is getting more intelligent, maybe you could. All right, Diane?
Yeah, I was wondering when you mentioned the music on the slideshow, so I hit browse. If none of those options are something I want, can you choose your own?
Yeah, a lot of that comes from music that you have on your computer or that they provide you for free. So let me just show you. So say that I want to play the slideshow here, right? So when you go to the music feature, it gives you suggestions, categories, soundtracks that it proposes that you use. But say that I choose, I don't know, Aretha Franklin Over the Rainbow, it's going to take me to the music app and I would have to buy it from them. Since I haven't used it at all, I'm not going to want to start that, right? So I didn't want that. So that's like Apple Music suggestions. If I go to soundtracks and I click on that one, this one is there for free. My computer has it. I have some soundtracks in here because of stuff also that my son has made. Or if I click here on these, like 4 or whatever, these are ones that the computer gives you for free. Now, if you have your own music in your computer that you've already purchased for, you can click on browse and it's going to take you to any music that you have on your computer. And then you
Yeah,
can click on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, we don't see any of those options. We just see
Yeah.
the buildings.
Oh,
Sharing.
thank you for showing me that. Let me share my entire screen and then you'll see it better. Okay. So when I click on that, now do you
Oh,
see these options?
yes.
Okay.
Right.
So the only one that like Apple Music suggestions, if you use Apple Music and you pay for Apple Music, if I try to play this, that's good. But since I don't have it, it just goes, oh, here, use Apple Music. It's 3 months for free. But then after that, it's $10.99 a month, and I don't want that. So I'm going to leave that, right? So I don't want Apple
Gotcha.
Music. But maybe I have other music here that's part of the music that they offer for free. I don't know, each computer will have different ones. I have a lot of soundtracks on my computer because my son did some editing here. So maybe I have some soundtracks and maybe there's or I can just say browse. And then it's giving me any possible soundtrack. If I say see all, these are soundtracks that I have on my computer. How about you guys? What soundtracks or suggestions are you able to click on and have it have sound? Do you have any
I
on yours?
look. I'm sure I must, but I haven't looked yet.
I'm gonna go ahead and does someone else want to share? Because you might have different music than me. Do you want to share, Diane? Since you asked the question.
That's it's okay. No.
Someone
I don't
else
know.
can share this
But you
portion
know,
because
I have heard music that will just go off without me asking for it. But I
yeah,
raised
I
in
didn't
the,
ask for that. That music just got chosen for me because I clicked play slideshow. I
yeah.
can change it by clicking on that music.
Oh, you can
When
change.
I first play, it just plays with music that it randomly selected. Can one of
One
you guys, we only have 1 minute left. Can some of you guys share your screen so I can see what it chooses on yours to see if it's a similar selection? Anyone who
is
wants
hard.
to share a
Okay.
screen? Barbara, go for it, Barbara. Thank you. So when Barbara's going to share her screen, we're going to see what music gets ejected on hers. And it might take you to music that she has. So go to your Photos app for a second and then try to play a slideshow, any slideshow. And whoops,
Where's my?
you stopped your share. Start again.
No, here's photos.
But your share is gone. You have to share your entire screen for this to work. So the top choice. Yeah, we're not going to see. Okay, since it's not your whole screen, the same thing will happen that we won't see your music choices.
Oh.
So can you stop and then share just your desktop? I'm going to stop your share. When you say share, go to the entire screen at the top left. Okay, now go ahead and not the smart albums. You can't play videos of your smart albums. So go to one of your albums and choose to play the slideshow. We'll do that quickly. So you need to go over here and choose one of your albums. I don't care which. Yep. And then say slideshow. Okay. Okay. So now go ahead and click slideshow again because it just needed to download some stuff. Okay. So here it's giving her a chance to choose the music now, right? So go ahead and oh, you have an older version of Photos. What's your operating system?
Is it Montecito or Monterey or
Yeah,
whatever?
that's why it's showing it to you this way. It gives you the choice first. So your version is Monterey. So
Yeah.
you would choose the music here. So you're choosing differently than me because you have an older version. Most people have the version like mine. See here, she could go in and choose some music this way. And then when she was ready to play slideshow, and the slideshow would play. This is Monterey, but for people who have Sequoia, it looks more like mine. And so here's her slideshow playing now. Okay, and the music that she chose would be, she's got it low so we can't hear it. But does that make sense? But since
Yeah.
it doesn't really count too much because thank you for, I'm going to stop your share, for volunteering to share. But her version of photos is older, so because it's from Monterey, so it didn't look like mine. Your version will look like mine, that you first play a slideshow and then you choose the music from the bottom. Okay, that has changed how it plays. Okay, guys, so for now, just put some photos in there to be edited, keep organizing, try to do some slideshows and see if you can change the music and the way it shows. And that's it. I'll see you with lots of photos next week. If you haven't done the homework of taking photos of each type that your phone can take, then go and take your phone out for a walk and take photos of each kind of photos that you can take, okay?
Thank
Like all
you.
the medias and portraits and whatever. So you have a bit of everything.
When is our
Bye,
last
guys.
day? When is our last day?
We have 2 more meetings, 3 meetings. I can go to the calendar and tell you. Hold on. This one, you have 1 more week, 2 more weeks. Yeah, 2 more weeks. It's the last
Okay.
one is August 12th.
Okay, thank you.
Can't believe
Thank
how
you.
soon that is. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, Harry. Bye, everyone. Bye, Yolanda. Bye, Vera. Bye, Kate. Bye, Bob.